All right.
I feel like it wouldn't be a real live stream if we didn't have to take at least 2 takes to get it to work.
Dude, maybe even 3 or 4. We'll see what happens.
Maybe that's because we're going to have some good stuff happening tonight.
All right, so let me go on here and delete the other one.
I'm going to get my hatchback on. Please hold. Wow. Oh, wow. Now I'm going to connect to my laptop. I don't want to accidentally break the Wi-Fi's.
Don't connect then.
I'm not. I don't want to break it.
Why does it say it's connected?
Shush.
Somebody's here. Oh yeah, take 2. What's up, Medic Mouse?
Hopefully this one works a little better.
Yeah, I'm like super duper.
We're the best at interneting.
Honestly, bro, like this is hey, comfortably numb. Yeah, shalom guys. So look, man, I don't know if it's gonna boot us again. It was super rando. Oh, bam, just like that, 12 people on here. But we'll see what happens. Hey, you have to lean over so the peoples can say hello.
Hello, people.
It's not quite Shabbat Shalom, but Shabbat Shalom anyhow.
Over here, I gotta kind of watch this too. Gotta get on the YouTubes.
All right, what are they talking about in the chats?
Got to open the comments.
Oh, it's going by.
Even YouTube Spirit's word.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, man.
Oh, hi, dog.
What is my dog doing out here?
The kids
All right, so we're like 2 stories underground in a bunker somewhere in the city that we can't tell you about, but
oh my goodness.
Yeah, not really, because you can see the sun on this luscious beard.
You sound insane. We don't need a tinfoil hat. We need a tinfoil house.
Hi. Are you oh, your Wi-Fi on your
I'm a hotspotting.
Okay. Start saying hi's to the people. That's so much better on this, dude, because on here I get like this much, and on there you got like all of them.
But we should probably no disturbings.
No disturbings?
Yes, put it on no disturbs. That explains the connection issues.
Yeah.
New York City?
Yeah, no, we're in just outside of OKC somewhere. Yeah. We had a funeral today, which was beautiful. And I hadn't cried in a while, so it was good for a good cry.
I'd prefer to not have to go to another funeral for a while.
Yeah, it sucked, but it's part of the mourning process.
Okay. Why? Oh, it's so light. Okay, listen.
What?
I am looking on my shirt on my laptop screen, and it looked like I had a logo on my shirt that was blurred out for a second.
It is blurred out.
It's just the sun, but my brain automatically was like, why are they blurring it?
Yeah,
but
YouTube's totally controlling the picture.
We're in control of editing apparently, and we don't know how to do that.
Bro, that shit's so far away I can't even read it.
Well, here you go. Look at this.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, can you make that bigger?
I'm not sure.
Can you expand the chat?
Well, you need some glasses, maybe.
I do, bro. I'm so getting old right now.
Top chat? No. Live chat? Yeah. Participants. Pop out chat? Does that do it?
Sure.
I'm gonna break it.
What is that?
Woo!
Oh,
Nope, it doesn't make the. Oh, I wonder if I
anything.
could zoom.
No.
No zooming?
No. Okay, I got it right here. It's fine. New
No
York City.
How do I exit out of this
Yeah,
now?
Shabbat Shalom, Lone Star Living, although it is not quite sunset, as you can see here in my beard.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how to exit it. I'm gonna click. Okay, I did it. I win. Funeral should be a celebration. My dad specifically asked for no eulogy and a keg. Yeah, I agree. I think that there should be. It's kind of hard. I was just talking to my grandma.
Yeah, no problem. That's
Sheila,
yeah, no problem, Sheila. Yeah, it's a thing. Sorry, you were talking. I was just like in the middle of something, and I
It's fine.
just totally cut you off. I'm so sorry. I love you. Go ahead.
I was just saying that we were talking today about, like the scriptures talk about this like time of mourning, and I feel like for us in modern days, it's like maybe a minute of mourning, and then we kind of we try to like shut it down. We don't really want to feel it, and so we like distract ourselves and we get busy. And then like to me, the like funeral itself is like, you don't have to be strong for anybody. You don't have to like, it's just like all your focus is there and you realize that it really happened. It's like a time for it to really set in, which I feel like the whole time of mourning in the scriptures would have been what that was for, you know? No expectations, don't go back to your jobs, just mourn, just feel it. But we don't really, I personally don't really like to feel it. So I like to try to convince myself that I can be distracted by anything.
Dude, I tried really not hard. I tried.
Not hard.
I really tried
not
hard to not cry.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I kept blinking and like trying to not like build too much tears. I was trying to like keep it down for the longest time. And then, so it was a veteran, her grandfather, he's a veteran. And when they came out to play the trumpet at the end, dang it, I'm trying to think of the name of that song they play.
Three taps. The taps. Something
So,
taps.
Yeah. So when they started playing that, I was all, got me. Instantly, I was all fucking waterfall, just going for it. And everybody, everybody, you could hear everybody like sucking up their boogers because their eyes are watering, their nose is running. So yeah, taps. But that one gets me every time, and yeah, it was. They did a good job. So anyhow, we're not in our normal panda-like
But we
structure.
are now with family.
Yeah, we're not in a panda structure right now. So the bamboo is it's hard to come by. So if we act up a little bit tonight, it's because we're probably a little riled up on this different type of enclosure we have.
We're rebelling against the closure. No,
Yeah,
enclosure.
Our act right might be a little bit broken.
I just had to subscribe again. What?
What? You got shadow booted? Who's that?
Skip DeGraff.
Really?
Growing up an Army kid, revelry, retreat, taps, and proud to be an American all get me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Every time. Not sometimes, but every time. All right, we got 36 people here. So I was talking to my brother Heath the other day, and dude, I'm probably gonna have to shut this garage a little bit more or get a fan or something.
It's gonna be past that weird little crack there soon, right?
All right.
I looked at it.
Anyhow, so I caught something on some shorts, and I don't know how true it is, but I thought it was fascinating because I'm a big Revelation guy. Hey, Roxy, here, let's go. Stand by. I'll come right back to that.
He does not have Tourette's. He only has a dog.
Inside. Yep.
He's coming back. Don't leave.
They're not leaving. Dude, they freaking love you, sis.
I need to find a pin, though. I don't have a pin.
This is the closest thing.
Oh, I have a highlighter.
Okay.
I don't need a pen. I need a pen.
Go get a pen. I'll hold the fort down for you.
There's pens right here.
So.
My favorite pen.
What?
This is my favorite kind.
Okay. So anyhow, in Revelations, what color? We'll do a little. See, look, it's too much right here. There. See, now it's better. That's better. So, in Revelations, the first 4 seals, what color are the horses?
Black.
All right, and go.
Oh, I'm not supposed to answer?
No.
Oh,
Don't say that. I'm trying to get the chat to do it.
I want to play.
You can't cheat.
Like
And
trivia.
don't tell them.
I like trivia games. Pick me. I'm just kidding. Okay, you guys need to post the answer quickly. White, red, green, black.
Okay, keep going. Oh, everybody's in their word right now looking. They're like trying to go for it.
Black, greenish.
Okay, Saucin, you're missing a whole bunch. Okay. Revelation
Black, white, red, yellow.
No
Pale.
yellow. No yellow.
Oh, that would be the white, probably. Pale.
No
would be
yellow. You got to cross-reference the translation because it does say pale in some, but it's actually pale green or green. For some reason, it does say just pale in some.
Sausage. He said I just took Steph's answer. Yes, thank you.
That's
Speaking
right.
for me, I love that.
All right. So, yeah, Skip, don't steal my thunder, homie. I'm fixing a show. I'm going to blow the whole internet up right now. Not really. But, so I saw a short and I was like, man, that's super duper interesting. Here, let me get my gallery and show you. Let me show you really quick. So, peep this out if you can see it. Huh. Interesting. I don't know if it's backwards on the screen. Is it backwards?
No.
No, it's right. Okay. So, super duper interesting. I don't know how close I can get. No, you guys, it's not gonna go.
It's not gonna focus.
Okay, so not all of them in the Middle East, but a bunch of them, which is fascinating because we've got Palestine, Syria, Jordan. What? Yeah, exactly.
I'm bad for cussing.
Yeah, no, you're totally
No,
good,
but,
homie.
you know,
I'll cuss too.
it's on
So
track.
hold on. So Palestine, Syria, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Sudan, and United Arab
Emirates.
something. But what I did is I just Googled middle sorry.
You got this.
I Googled countries surrounding Israel flags. And it showed me Middle East.
Emirates.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was fascinated because you think about Revelations and it's like, did we ever think about the colors meaning anything? Or did we just think they were just colors, right? We never thought about the meaning or the symbolism or what they could mean. Was a trip. And then I was like, what about Mexico? And then I was like, nah, there's no black in that one. So it was close though.
What does that mean?
What?
UAE?
Huh?
UAE?
I don't know. Justin's throwing out code words.
United Arab Kingdoms, basically. Okay.
Yeah, something.
Oh,
Yeah.
United, whatever we just read, that UAE. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Way easier to say.
Same thing. You got it.
Although Emirates
You got
apparently
it.
wasn't actually that
You got it,
hard to say.
man.
Conquest equals white, war is red, black is famine, then pale green would be death.
Yeah, but hold on. So like almost every single one on here has either green. There's like 2 out of all of the Middle Eastern flags that are not with red or green, or the combination of white, red, green, and black. There's 2. And the name of that country is what?
Qatar.
Qatar.
And
And Israel.
That's a banjo anyways.
Okay.
Okay, they are the
You see
same
them?
horses, chariots mentioned in Zechariah 6. So let's go read Zechariah 6.
Dude, it's a trip. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it means anything, but it's super duper interesting.
Where's the Zechariah at?
And I was kind of blown away. To be honest with you, because, excuse me.
No.
I'd never thought about the colors. I never thought like that they meant. Oh my goodness.
She's back out. The dog
Okay.
is back out. Oh, the vision of the 4 chariots.
Roxy, here.
Chariots.
Come here. Lay down.
You hear?
Yeah.
The same chariots mentioned in Zechariah 6.
Yeah. Well, let's read Zechariah 6.
Zechariah.
Go ahead. Send
With
it.
an E. Again, I lifted my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 chariots came out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of bronze. The first chariot had red horses, the second black horses, the third white horses, and the fourth chariot dappled horses? All of them strong. Then I answered and said to the angel who talked with me, what are these, my lord? And the angel answered and said to me, These are going out to the four winds of heaven after presenting themselves before Yahweh, or the Lord of all the earth. I don't know what the right translation is there. The chariot with the black horses goes towards the
Elohim.
north. The chariot with the black horses goes toward the north country. The white one goes after them, and the dappled ones go toward the south country. When the strong horses came out, they were impatient to go and patrol the earth. And he said, "Go patrol the earth." So they patrolled the earth. Then he cried to me, "Behold, those who go toward the north country have set my spirit at rest in the north country."
Interesting. So we could rabbit hole the crap out of that. Yes, it's the same horses. I haven't strung those two together yet. I know there's a lot of symbology that is the same, that shows the same things between a lot of the prophets and Revelation. I think we got Daniel and Isaiah.
And Ezekiel, Isaiah.
Yeah. So a lot of them, there's almost like a...
Enoch, Second Esdras.
They have those too?
I think Second Esdras talks a lot about... Maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah.
It talks about Messiah.
Yeah,
But I don't
dude,
know if it talks about...
It went way too fast.
You need more coffee.
I'm so sad.
Coffee
I'm sad face.
Don't be sad.
You want some? Oh, actually, can you sweet tea me?
No.
It's way easier. You just bring the pitcher out here.
No. The whole gallon.
So, anyhow, I thought I'd bring that up just to springboard a little bit of, springboard a little bit of topic. But it was dope that a bunch of you guys answered hecka quick. Almost like you guys read your word, which is crazy. So, let me get back over here to the comments, guys.
Jugga, 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 jugga. I'm about to bump your arm on accident.
Oh,
I brought the jug.
let me hit that.
The whole jug. It's only sweet tea, I promise.
Thank you.
Tay.
That is whiskey.
Message
No, I'm just kidding.
restricted.
Just kidding.
What does that mean?
What?
Message restricted.
Where?
Comfortably numb. Oh,
Retracted.
okay.
Yeah, he changed it. It's all good.
Okay. Oh, didn't.
Nerd in the word. That's right.
All right. I'm
so thirsty. I went swimming, and I think it was my first time going in a saltwater pool.
Yeah.
And I was trying to teach my littles how to swim, which they got some fundamentals, but I think I'd probably have to spend probably about a week every day to get them where I wouldn't be like super nervous, because I think all three of them just about drowned themselves with me in the pool, which was awesome. So yeah, they're not ready to swim yet, but trying.
Shalom, Miss Dana.
They all have different skills that they're good at. Like one's super duper good at like going underwater. The other one is super good at like swimming with their face down, but not like really good, but like able to move. And then the oldest, I can't even remember. It'll probably come to me while I'm talking about something else.
Shalom, Joe.
What's up, George?
Jorge.
What's up, Brian? Nathan.
Okay. Skip says tornado 6.4 miles from my house in Sanger, Texas, 1.4 from farm in Pryor, Oklahoma, and yesterday driving in Utah, rock slides. The enemy is real, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Journey John's watching with his wife. Nice.
Pitched out my tattoo set today.
Hey. Yeah.
It's always such a cool, like, it's like when we threw away like our Christmas stuff, remember? It was like almost like a real, like.
It was like finalizing a decision that you make. It was like today.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like closure on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like closure on it.
But also it's a little bit exciting where you're like, okay, I don't know what we're doing, but this feels like this is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, I don't want to do what you don't want me to do, so I trust you and I'm going to toss this crap.
Yep. Let me see.
Hey, what'd you guys think of the video I did with Tactically Torah yesterday?
I know the feeling, Brian. If one thing's pulling against me, move into the woods. Yeah, they're talking about something else. It was always mean something. Also interesting that if Israel had taken all the land Yah promised Abraham, they'd be the most oil-rich country in the world.
Yeah, tracking.
Yah's
sure.
never random. Spotted horse in Zechariah, I believe. Is that what dappled means?
Maybe, but also you gotta like blue letter Bible those two and cross-reference translations.
Right, meow.
Because I'm not really sure. Like, do the one in Revelations too, because I didn't have the app when I was looking the other day. Anyhow, it's fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
Awesome video, amazing. Hold on a second, I gotta get
Liked it. So okay, liked it. Awesome, amazing. All right, I liked the back and forth you two had going.
Who that?
All right. What am I looking up? Well, let's do Zechariah 6 because I'm very curious as to what dappled means. Zechariah 6.
Yeah, Connie, we so what we call that when we're talking is we use each other to springboard the conversation, which is kind of what we do in the chat here. And then if me or the wife have something we want to talk about, then we'll kind of do the same thing. And we're doing the camera upright because I'm hoping that we will lure in some people outside of the norm. What's it say?
So in Genesis, it talks about the flocks were breeding. I saw in a dream that the streaked, spotted, and speckled males were mating with the females. So let's go see which word that is. Interlinear.
Okay, we're
spotted.
proof texting.
Where did it go? Oh, spotted, striped, and speckled. Oh, mottled, striped, speckled, and mottled. Okay, that doesn't give us a clear answer of what the heck that means.
Okay, so we may not get one.
Striped and spotted. So far, it's not striped or spotted.
Be a Deuteronomy 29:29.
Hold on. Where did it go? Go back.
It's not the verse. That's just
Take me back.
There's mysteries that'll be revealed to us.
Zechariah 6. We go back to the dappled.
Do the
Isn't that a word like somebody looks so dapper, right?
Dapper Dan?
Dabber.
Hey, can you do the Revelations one too, please?
I will, but my brain needs to understand this word. It says spotted or marked is the definition, but
Marked. Okay, interesting.
Streak, spotted, speckled, 4 horses. Okay, yeah, no.
I don't think this
Those
chat is keeping up with that chat. Oh.
What you mean?
No.
You're probably not even on.
Oh. Well, I'll have to jump back to it.
Is dappled considered green? I don't know, man. We're trying to
Yeah, we
find
don't
it.
know. We're
That was way long ago, though. I just read that right now. Sorry about it. Let me see.
Oh, there's the comments. Holy crap!
Which
to read here.
Revelations verse is it? Huh? Anyone? Babe? Can you hear me? No? Okay, bye. Where's the horses? In case you guys hear me before he does, because he's gone.
I'm reading something, so I am all the way checked out, so you guys get to just sit here in silence. Love you.
And he's gone.
All right, so I'm back.
Where are the horses in Revelation?
It's chapter 6. So, so there's some names on here with people in the chat that I have not seen a whole bunch. Scav,
Are we looking at green?
hashtag 27. I don't know that one, but that's new. Welcome.
Are we looking at the green horse, the pale green horse?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
pale green. As ashen. What?
So there's no definitive.
Hold on. We haven't got to that word yet.
Are you looking it up in
Green, the word. Okay, so it's used for the same word that is used in Mark 6, verse 39. Then he instructed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the
green grass? Oh, interesting. Okay,
Pale
so that,
green
I
horse.
guess you could proof text it that way then, if it's the same word.
They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any green plant.
Yeah.
So
it's the same word as all
Why
those.
does it say pale? Is that a separate?
I don't know. I thought that was interesting because it says pale horse in some translations.
I thought this one said pale green horse. when I
Well,
was
some
looking
say
on
pale
Facebook.
green, some say green, some say pale, some say something else. What was I was in a weird church last night at a meeting. Dude, I can't remember what kind of church it is. I wasn't there for any kind of church stuff, but yeah, English sucks. Matt, you got that right, bro. And I'm telling you right now, any scripture from Hebrew or Greek into English, it just loses most of the value. I mean, it really does. It loses so much of the value that that it doesn't even hold. It's and like Torah. Let's give this for an example. So Torah, it has everything from instruction and then a bunch of other stuff and then law. And so my understanding of the word Torah it's vast. Its entirety is from the beginning of that definition to the end. It's all the way from it's his instruction, his loving instruction, but it's also firm and solid like a law. Like that's just the way it is. And you don't get that in English. The law, if you say law, it doesn't mean the same thing.
I think it would be interesting to like look up what a horse
Roxy, here.
like what because they always have descriptions of people or things and they use animals to describe them. So I'd be curious to see how horses like what horses represent throughout the scriptures. So when we see like a green horse, maybe it's not. I mean, somebody mentioned it's what does it say?
Hold on. Pause, please.
Gosh, I lost it.
So
Maybe it wasn't horses, pretty much.
read me that one because I was trying to read it.
Some believe that it is the four major belief systems that are all over the earth: Catholicism, white horse, communism, red horse, Islamism, green horse, capitalism, black horse.
I don't think so, man. That's a kind of a stretch for me. Yeah, I don't think so. I think so. If Revelations talks about like a new government and somebody new coming into power, where people are accepting the mark of the beast, you got to understand that with an American Constitution, with the liberty and the freedoms that we have written up in that, even though they've been chipped out for a long time, they've been chipping that away. If that stands in any kind of way, people won't accept that. So America has to fall, and the way that we run stuff has to fall in order for these things to really start to take place, I believe. Now, I could be totally wrong, but I'm not smoking that hopium like, Trump's going to come back and save the day and all that nonsense that people do and the Q stuff and all that. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I know that the Bible prophesies that things are going to get worse and not better. And that's why I prepare, and that's why I watch. And I've been watching lately just people with like almost no patience for one another, and just people's hearts are hardened. It's kind of sad to see, to be honest with you. I was walking through a parking lot earlier to do some Shabbat prep shopping, and I watched a dude walking through the parking lot, and no, actually we weren't there yet. We were driving here, and it was at the gas station.
Yeah.
I remember where it was at now. And an older man and wife were backing up from a pump to get out because they couldn't pull forward. And some scruffy looking younger dude, not younger, but like probably maybe 30 or 35, younger-ish, was walking behind him, wasn't even paying attention. They were backing up, or they put it in gear, and was like, stupid MFer. And I'm just like, you're a douchebag, bro. Like, they're hella old, man. They didn't see you. It's not their bad. You were swooping behind their car when they're backing up. And I was just like, yeah, it's funky. And it's not like this is new, but it's just kind of reaffirming to be mindful when I'm out there that the world ain't my friend. And because I believe what I believe, the world is going to hate me. What you got, Mom?
This is it's tripping me out because the one.
Are you rabbit holing right now?
I am. I'm back in Zechariah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Back
So-
of Zechariah.
Why don't you come into the present here?
I can't.
Loud
My
presence.
brain can't stop until
Hey, if you're not subscribed to her channel, go over to Loud Presence because she's got some phenomenal stuff on there.
It's just-
If you haven't heard about it, check her stuff out. It's called Loud Presence. Go over there, subscribe, and watch her stuff because she's got really good information. And I did
There
that
will be
video.
more information, I promise.
I did that video. As me and Heath were talking yesterday, and we were talking about like the responsibilities of being a teacher. And like, I'm not a teacher. I'm going to share some experience with you and my understanding of the scriptures and like where I'm at with it today, but it's hopefully going to evolve. And everything that I talk about, you should be proof texting and not subcontracting your faith, because I guarantee I'm going to be wrong about something or a bunch of stuff. Just is what it is. The sun has gone down where it's not. I can lean into the camera and you guys can see my boogers now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so no, I can't. I'm not ready yet.
Everybody's going to be looking for them now. All right.
I'm still looking. I'm sorry. These are the words that I need.
So, what do we got here?
Streaked. Striped.
Tombstone, love that. Hey, love. Like, I cannot keep up with the chat, so I need you to get off of that.
I just have to know.
Listen, you can know another time, not when
No,
we
because
have
I'll forget. 'Cause that's
500
not how my
people standing
brain.
here
That's not
waiting
how
for
my
us to
brain
talk to them.
works.
All right, so, hey, did you guys see the short that I did about how many animals go into the ark? I know you guys saw the video yesterday, but if you guys look in the comments on that one, you'd be surprised how many people are like 2 by 2, 2 by 2. And me and Heath were talking about that yesterday because it's a great example of what people have heard and have believed forever versus what the actual scriptures say. And it's a good way to like kind of break the ice with somebody like, how well do you know your word? Do you know your word pretty good? And then they're like, yeah. And then you're like, how many animals? And you can like kind of get off into it like that. Say the name again, please. Oh, they got it. Loud presence. Okay, cool.
What the heck does
Thanks for
grizzled
that.
mean?
Thanks for that. Encouraging community.
Spotted and marked as if sprinkled with hail is what that means. Because there was a whole different word used for spotted.
Hey, come back to earth, please. Please, love.
Okay, sorry. I'm here. I'm present.
Yeah, Yeshua definitely said, Yeshua definitely said it was going to get worse. I mean, they're not putting us up to death and imprisoning us yet, but at least not here, probably in other countries. But, what do we got? We got some stuff. Look, I'm on 2 phones. See, one showing you guys me, and then this one showing
Translators
me
put the
you.
pail in since they've never seen a green horse.
Yeah, hey, that's a word, right?
Not to be sacrilegious, but can anyone name? Oh wait, no, wait, they already answered that one. Horses equal spirits is what I was trying to get at earlier.
The green horse was vid. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let me check really quick. Who said that? JS Genesis Designs. You had a comment up here just a little bit ago. I heard the theory of the green horse hoofbeats were COVID, Corona. I don't know because I think the green one. Stand by. I'm flipping.
Oh, it
I
says
don't
a horse
think so,
named
but
Death
let me-
would surely be decaying and putrid.
Yeah.
Maybe that would make it green if it was already
Greenish.
modeled or painted. In
Greenish. Oh, dude, I'm so naked today too, guys. Like, I had to borrow one of my kids' little Bibles because I left my scriptures in the truck, and I'm super duper sad about it. But I had a busy week.
Another one. Question: how long have you all been prepping before you moved to your current location, or just since then?
No, we
No,
started
before.
prepping a couple states ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been prepping for a minute. I'm gonna do a video on food preps and what that looks like and why and little hacks that we used when we got going, because there's people out there that aren't boiling and money's tough, man. We were doing the food stamp thing because we were just barely getting on our feet when we started prepping, and we had just got our contractor's license, and we didn't really have any jobs or clientele, nothing consistent, and so like the money was far and few between. And so it was kind of helping us carry it a little bit because we could scrape up for some bills and stuff, but man, it was tight because food is so expensive, and we were hitting the food banks, and they were giving us a lot of stuff that we would eat, but we didn't eat a lot of it, and so we were able to stack a ton of like canned goods.
I also, at the time, remember I started going to all the food banks.
Oh, and the gleaners?
They were the gleaners. We like canned a bunch of freaking blueberries and
dude.
all kinds of stuff.
There was a lot of cool stuff we did.
And we were like getting 5 million.
I'll do a video on that if
spaghetti
you guys want to see some prepping stuff and like. But to be honest with you, Bear Independent does such a good job on his preparedness videos. And if you go back in his stuff and look on his playlist, you can go to the Prepper Classroom. It is more than efficient in information and styles and techniques. And from there, you can learn other tricks. I'll teach you guys some other hacks that I know about, like how to have running water if there's the power's out, and like there's a bunch of different stuff that's like really easy. You know, I mean, I can get fuel from a gas station with like an old Chevy pump and like some wires and a battery off my car. Like there's all kinds of little cool hack stuff that I know how to do. That I've been good at for a long time, like way before I started prepping. Don't say anything about that, by the way.
Dana said her power steering went out on her car this week.
Yay!
Yeah, dude.
And Dana's power steering is electric. Bummer, dude. Well,
our car's being kind of funny.
Yeah, our car has died on us 4 times today, and I just spent a bunch of time working on it the other day trying to get it to not do that anymore, and now it's worse. So hashtag not a mechanic, but it is what it is. So when it's running, it runs great though.
It's a very comfortable car.
Yeah, dude, I've done so much stuff to it. I've done wheel hubs, I've done brakes, calipers, brake lines. I just pulled the water pump and did the magnetic timing, blah, 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 and a cam position sensor. I did throttle position sensor. I've done coil packs, spark plug wires. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. And I think there's a bunch of other stuff I forgot about, but it's whatever. It is what it is, man.
I don't know what that means.
Hold on, I'm still trying to look up that green horse. Hold on, babe. Hold on, babe.
I don't know what this word means. You can hotwire a gas pump. Not looking good though. Praying Yah provides because I need a reliable car. Yeah, dude. We were so excited to test the car out after he worked on it. Fuzzies.
Oh, you got one?
And then we drove down here, which is a couple hours away.
So, green horse.
We got here though.
Yeah, green horse. Wait, where's the pale horse? Okay, so green. That's all the way on the fourth seal. Nah, man, it wouldn't be the. It wouldn't be the vid because fourth seal, man. If it was that, we're missing a whole bunch of other stuff before that seal. So I was trying to figure it out the whole time, but it took me a minute because I'm slow. What's up?
So why is it when I touch something on the screen? Okay, so right now, because of the orientation of the phone, it's on like, if you scroll up, it's like going through reels ultimately, but it's a reel of live videos. So when you keep if you touch it, it's gonna read it like scrolling. And so you're gonna scroll on to the next video. Because that's earlier Justin said, well, this live is way better than the mess I accidentally swiped up into just now. And then this one says, why is it when I touch something on the screen, it changes to a different live stream?
Yeah, it's because I got it oriented this way. Now, I did it on purpose because really what I was hoping to do, and I was telling you guys last week, what I'm really hoping to do is because when it's in this format, it'll get into the shorts and rando people will click on it, and then it'll give all of us an opportunity to witness to somebody about coming into the way and about what the Scripture says versus what we're taught. And that's our jam, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that we do this. Is me and her kind of like a bridge. We're a bridge from one world to the next, from one understanding to the next one. We're not teachers. We're not pastors. We're not any of that. We're just bridges. We just help you grab an understanding from one aspect of your walk, and then maybe give you enough information to bridge you over to the next one. Yep, fishing on a very large platform. Yeah, comfortably numb for sure. Dude, I got something when I was on deployment right here, and it still itches, man. It's been like a hot minute, and I don't know what it was, but it might have been like poison ivy or like creeper vine or something. I'm not really sure. You know, maybe it's because the scriptures get dumbed down for songs or for kids in Sunday school. But nevertheless, you got to think about, has anybody ever gone back to that and plussed anybody up? One of the reasons they don't really talk about clean and unclean in church is because it's such an area of, there's a bunch of questions that modern day Christianity can't answer if they hold to the doctrines that they teach. And so they kind of tiptoe around those. And so it probably doesn't ever get brought up more than just brushed over, I would say, because it's a topic that if somebody was actually really reading and studying and looking, they may see some truth that is easily questionable about teachings that you find in modern day Christianity.
I don't even know if they are purposely don't want to look at it as much as when they translate the words, it looks like when we just read the scriptures, if we just pick up an ESV and read it and like read it as if this is 100% fact, it really does look like all of that is done away with. Like, if you don't have the ability to go look up the original, like right now, luckily, none of us have it. I mean, I can't say that. My brain works different, so it's easy for me to research this stuff, but like, most people don't even know to research stuff, which I think is why it's important to know the Father's Word. Because when we know the Father's Word, if we read something in the New Testament that seems like, because I would say most of the Old Testament seems to be properly translated, most of the writings. It's the New Testament that kind of goes out and makes all these other translations.
Well, that's another thing too. So hey, somebody in the comments, this guy here. So if you want to jump into that, what is it? How do you say that?
Scab?
Yeah, hashtag 27, scab hashtag 27. No way that we're at the fourth seal. And I can tell you a whole bunch of reasons why. Because the third seal, these things are worldwide and not, they're worldwide, and they're not just in areas. They're not just in what's the word I'm looking for? Little pockets of the world. This is affecting the entirety of the world. And world wars were really bad. And yes, they affected a lot of stuff. But the second seal and the third seal, there's no way that those two things have happened yet, because it would have to be in its entirety most of the planet, if not all. It's not like this is just it's not specifying that it's just one area that's going to feel this. If you think about what is it, a quart of wheat for a denarius, what they're talking about is basically a loaf of bread for an entire day's pay. Most places, outside of third world countries, which there's a shit ton of, but it's still not the whole planet, and it's not the majority of the planet. It's not actually a thing. Not that I've seen, and I could be wrong, but that's not a thing. And then if you get to the second seal, peace being taken from the earth, no, homie, because we're allowed to do this right now. I'm allowed to share with you guys my beliefs, and nobody's hunting me with a rifle. Nobody's trying to kill me right now. And this isn't just this country. There's tons of countries in the world that you can still do this. You can still have peace. You can walk down the road. You can go down and get groceries. You can go to work. You can go fish. You can go hunt. There's tons of country that there's still peace. There's pockets all over the place that are terrible.
But there always have been.
But there always has been, and there always will be. This is not the entirety of the world. Peace being taken from the earth, we're all gonna know it. We're gonna be like, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna have your feely vibes are gonna be on point.
I can't sit here. My leg can't cross.
You want to move? We can sit over there.
I can't sit like this.
I mean, I'm kind of cramped over here. Do you want to move?
I don't want to move
pivot?
and disturb everything.
No, dude, it's totally good. We can sit in those chairs right there.
I just need to be able to cross my legs and sit on my legs and move my legs.
Stand by, YouTube.
Oh,
Stand by.
We're gonna move.
We're gonna move. And then we're
Bye.
gonna come back to that and catch up on the
shots. On the shots. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I feel like it's weird. We're still here.
You know what? You're weird.
I just feel like it's just, I'm gonna leave this here. We're here. We didn't leave.
We didn't leave. Hey, grab all that stuff. I'm gonna take the people with me.
All the stuff.
I hit my dog in the head, so that's good. And then we're gonna crank this thing down.
I'm so sweaty.
They love us, dude. They must be like
humid.
okay. And fellowship.
Okay, so okay.
Well, do you want to switch sides because I feel off now? No, it's good. I'll lean in. Yeah, that's better.
Oh crap!
You didn't grab my stuff.
What stuff?
I asked you if you
I
grabbed my
grabbed
stuff.
the stuff. I don't know.
Can you grab my stuff?
Please hold.
Okay, I get it.
I am going back to your thing because we were gonna go through the comments, but then I closed it out.
Just go through the comments.
Sure. There was one. Where to go?
So hold on. The guy that I'm referring to in the comments that I want to follow up with him if he's saying something in there.
Who?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Please hold. We're refocusing. Yeah, it does say the rider's name was Death. It doesn't say the horse's name was Death.
Death horse. Death rider.
Copyright laws cause translation issues for sure. For sure. People guard their ham sandwiches carefully.
Dude, for real.
Wow.
Okay, so
Who said what? What are we looking for? 2 by 2 because we dumbed down the scriptures?
no. I showed you the name and then I read it out loud.
Cassie, Kate.
No,
No,
it was
a
the
CAV.
yeah. Hashtag 27 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was I was referring to that comment. Mostly because I don't think I've ever seen that dude in the chat or chick or whatever you are. There's only 2 choices.
Let me see. What? I don't see the name. The name is gone.
Later, Gus. So Justin had said something about
Yeeting its phone.
no, he had asked if there was any word about us going on Kentucky storm damage, if Grindstone was going to head out there. Brother, we would go to all of them if we could. But the truth of the matter is that it's really difficult to be able to go to all of them because it takes a lot of staff away from other projects like Caleb House and stuff like that to be able to run those.
Staff.
Oh yeah,
Scav.
Scav. It takes a lot of staff away from those to run deployments because we don't have a full-time deployment team. And I know that's something that all of us, it weighs heavy on us not being able to go to all of them, because we would. I mean, if I could, I would do disaster relief full time. Full time, I would go. And I'm not trying to get rich off it, but if it paid my way just to be able to do that and take care of my family and be a good steward to them, I would do it full time. If I hit the Powerball, I'm going to do it full time. Period. Just know that there will be a full time grindstone thing going on. But we can't. And a lot of that too is, it's weird, man, because there's certain ones that I thought for sure we were going to go on. And when I was praying about it, there was nothing. It was like nothing happened. There was no answers. So it was like, okay, stand by. And that was it. And so I know my flesh wants to go help all the time with the right reasons, but there's sometimes reasons that the Father's like, hey, stay put. You know what I mean?
Somebody said highest production quality.
It is the highest production quality.
Yeah,
He's
and
totally gone?
Dana
Okay.
answered that.
All right.
Dana kind of answered the deployment one, I think. Let me see. Where'd she
Okay,
go?
good. All right.
Bear shared in a video I thought earlier this week, one day, that K is under control by locals, no GSM deployment for now.
Yeah.
We definitely see explosion of knowledge. Yeah.
Dude, another thing too is if we're watching them and we're got boots on the ground and there's intel out there and we're not getting enough good intel from locals, we'll send people to go check it out. But if we've got intel and they have a ton of resources that are already pouring into that area, and we're, it's at the length of where we're going to, they're 8 or plus hours away, you're pretty much not gonna deploy. Especially if you get there and you're a day late and $1 short and everybody's already on the scene, and at that point, you've got all the guys that you're asking to deploy on standby, not knowing if you're actually gonna do it or not, and you've already driven 500 or whatever miles, and it's like, well, we don't really have anything to do. We're only here for 3 days. Let's pack up and go home because there's enough resources here, and we've done that. So that's kind of painful, and I don't suggest that, but a lot of times we get intel that from local emergency response, emergency management that says, hey, we've pretty much got it handled and we've got more than we can take as far as help coming in, whether it be volunteer or not. So sometimes we go, sometimes we
got
don't.
no legs.
I'll let TJ answer most of that though. That's just my
wish I
2
knew
cents
what
on it
this
because
was
I could be
talking
wrong.
about.
Huh?
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Who said that?
Skip.
Oh, Skip?
I don't know what that was in regards to, but it's so awesome to just randomly.
Skip's on there
come
with some
across
funny
that.
ass shit for sure.
Please pause for a station identification. Let me see. I went back through like 3 or 4 times. I never saw Scav's comment. It was gone.
Mouse, I would totally have you on all of them with me, homie, because you're a beast. I appreciate you, man. There's nothing like going out there with people that show up with a servant's heart they're not there to like shake, Bear Independent's hand, or, they're not like fanboying anybody. They're just there to help. They're like, I'm here. What do you want me to do? I'm up, and I love that. That's epic. What was
Scav
Greg?
tried to drive by. Somebody said, where'd it go? Did he get schwacked or did he abort mission? He did a drive-by.
Yeah, hey, so like that's one of the things, guys, is when we got this up, we're gonna get some randos on there, and so we don't want to beat them up, especially if they're throwing out stuff we know isn't the truth. If we can plant some seeds before they get out of hand, cool. And then mods, which I think Justin's the only mod on here right now. If somebody got out of hand for a hot minute and they were blowing the chat up with some nonsense, timeout. If they keep going after the timeout, give them the boot.
Skip said she wanted to move because of her legs.
Oh. You love it?
Listen, so he's good. He's more of the like serious person. I'm more of like the rabbit hole, but I'll notice all the funny. Like I got the ADHD, so I will notice all the funny stuff and probably lock up the chickens. We're not there.
Oh shit! Can you?
Oh yeah, I'll message. Got it.
You should.
Bye.
Can you hit Matt Kelp and see if he'll do the thing? Oh, it's good, fam. Hangry Burgers. Yeah, I arm wrestled that dude when we were on deployment again for the 3rd time. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Angry Pepper is all there. He's strong, man. And I'm not like super buff or nothing, but I'm not like a little guy either. He's strong. So he beat me when we were in Mississippi deployment, but I was coming off the shoulder surgery. And I don't think that I was my strongest. But Kentucky was the first time I met him, and we arm wrestled there, and it was a tie. And then again here when we were in Barnesdall, Oklahoma, I was running my mouth at him trying to get him to bite, and he bit finally after like 3 or 4 times of me messing with him. It was a couple days, and then he finally's like, all right, well, let's do it. And he goes, when do you want to do it? I said, right now, let's go. And Bear's like laughing at us, shaking his head. And so we go outside and we arm wrestled, and it was a tie. But he's super duper strong, man.
Strong man, strong man.
Maybe next time. I don't know, dude.
That's a song you guys should look up. It's called Strong
Me and him
Man.
are the same age, too, which is funny. So it's fun. We talk a lot of smack. I think that's what he appreciates, because I'm sure at the fire station, the fellas there all talk all the shit, too. So
Strong Man. Hold on. Let me see. Tyson James. You guys, if you guys are interested in music, you should look up that song. It's called Strong Man by Tyson James. It's a really good song.
all right.
Really, really good one. There's also, what's the one called Witchcraft? What's that guy's name? Keenan in the Night or something? Key in the Night.
All right. Well, where are we at? What do we want to talk about? We've been on here for a hot minute. So, oh my goodness.
Have we?
Yeah, almost an hour already, dude.
What's up?
The
Oh,
sun's
lights
going
is
down.
flickering.
Yeah, sun's going down.
What is his name?
My
I'm a
dog's
music person.
My dog's passed out on the floor.
Keen in the Night. Yeah, there it is. Kieran, Kieran, The Light. Oh, wow. The Light is called Witchcraft. There's 3 parts. It's a really good song. You just listen to it, you're like, yes, it's awesome.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Right.
So 39 people on here. Somebody better start saying something, man. Say something ridiculous and we'll look into it.
We need some of Lieutenant Dan's and Forest Fruit Company money for Grindstone Ministry.
Yeah, for real. We need that Bubba Gump money. We do. Just not off of shrimp, though.
Sun's down, words out, time to nerd out. Hey!
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, because it's about that time. I'm going to get my shofar and blow it.
Kermode says something ridiculous. Thank you.
Good one. Good one, man.
Okay.
So I was riding in the truck with Kelt yesterday.
Cruising down the street. My sick phone. Oh no, that's
and I was
inappropriate.
like, yeah. And I was like, well, and he goes, that's a deep subject. And I was like, you know, dad jokes.
Zebra cakes and Fix-A-Dent.
Yeah.
Yeet yeet. Did Adam and Eve have belly buttons? That's a good question. Sounds like a midnight thought. Do you guys do anything special for counting the Omer? Currently, oh, nice little toot there. It's funny when you do this in new areas because you're like, I wonder if they're gonna be afraid that it's a tornado siren. But like in our area, nobody's gonna be.
Yeah, the only
shocked by
people,
that.
only people that freak out in our area is Sasquatch. You guys like that one right there?
Do you guys do anything special for counting the Omer?
My bro, Block A, gave that to me. I was oogling over it. He had 2 of them. And one day he's just like, hey man, I got something for you. And he gave me this, and it was like, he doesn't even know how special it is to me. Super duper special.
Proverbs 30.
And it took me about, what, a year and a half or 2 years to learn how to blow it.
Only because you didn't really try that much, because you were
Dude,
so
I
self-conscious, and then all of a
No.
sudden he decided he was going to do it, and then he got it within
No,
like
dude,
3
I
tries.
would blow this thing and it was like, yeah, that was about the sound I made out of every time. And I tried. I'd be like by myself when she wasn't home. She didn't know this. Nothing. I was like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's cool. But now I can blow it a little bit.
Verse 11 through 14, there is a generation. They all sound like us, but I'm sure all
I
generations
still can't read that
fit
far away.
Verse 11 through 14, there are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers. There are those who are clean in their own eyes, but are not washed of their filth. There are those how lofty are their eyes, how high their eyelids lift. Sorry. I'm just
Comfortably numb.
I'm picturing it. There are those whose teeth are swords,
It
whose
is.
fangs are knives to devour the poor from off the earth, the needy from among mankind. I'm just picturing the eyelids like way lifted.
Yeah, the buzz lips for sure, bro.
What does that even mean?
Journey and John, he said, learn the buzz lips because it's like, so I can't do it in the front. I do it like right in the corner, and it's like just kind of relaxing. Just enough, not all the way, because all the way it won't do shit. You got to have them a little bit tight, but just enough relaxed where, and then when you press the horn in and out, you'll find the right spot, and it'll make some noise. And that's if you're doing a side one. If you're doing a regular one, like my daughter, she was so freaking good right out the gate from like what, like
Did
6
you
or
redo?
7, 6 or 7,
What did you redo?
huh?
What?
The kids.
I'm not listening.
Sam from 6 or 7 could blow the shofar right out the gate. Burn, no problem. And proud dad, but like kind of jealous too, because I couldn't make that thing make any kind of happy noise.
Make a joyful noise.
Yeah.
I think I need water. I feel like I'm like sweaty and a little like shaky or something. I think maybe I'm dehydrated. Right there. I saw to eat, and so my daughter has started. Well, my daughter and my husband have both started learning that I forget to eat, and so if they're eating, they'll start coming out and like feeding me bites of it. Because most of the time, if I'm gardening or doing something, I won't take the time to go stop and wash my hands and then eat. So then I'll be like, oh, I'll just eat a little bit, and then it'll be hours later, and so they've started just coming and feeding me.
Do you guys want to hear like a worship song, like sung live?
No.
Dude, her
Are you
and
gonna
her
sing
mom and grandma get down. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just imagine if they all came out and we all just sang with the guitar and we just freaking.
Do it.
did
Go
some
get them.
worship.
We'll do it. She'd do it. You know she would. Go get them, babe. Sing one for the guys. These people would love to hear some worship music. There's 44 people on here that are like chilling on Shabbat, just watching us clown around on the other side of the screen. Probably could use some good worship music.
Can we do it over there?
Yeah, you don't have to do it on camera. Or I can flip the camera around.
I think we should not flip the camera around.
Okay. All right. Just in the background noise. Look at.
I don't know if
Everybody,
that's
send the hearts right now. 100%
I don't know
and all
if that's a
that.
thing. I don't know. I will run it by my mom.
Your mom's gonna
We'll
do
see.
it, bro. Go put her on the pressure really quick.
Okay.
Get the girls out here and y'all sing.
Okay, we'll see.
Do it. Absolutely. We love it.
Oh my gosh.
Bring it. Worship music. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Freaking appreciate you, man. I love hearing my wife sing so much that every year on my birthday, that's all I ask her to do is sing me a song. That's it. So one of my favorite things about her is that she's got this amazing voice that gets me every time, man. I freaking love it. So we'll see. And if you guys get a live concert tonight, free, by Miss Panda, blessings, man. It's gonna be awesome. Her mom has a really powerful voice too. Her grandma, I love hearing them sing. It's really cool. I actually asked her earlier. I said, "Would you guys sing like a worship song?" And I could see her want to do it, but was like pretty hesitant. So maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But if they do it, I'll sneak you guys around when they're not paying attention, maybe. Yeah. I don't want to ruin it because you guys will have a blast, but it's good, man. I enjoy it. Also, if you got screen record, turn that shit on. That way you've got a little recording of it. It's epic. Oh, I hear them singing in the house, man. They're going to do it. It's going to be so good. She is, Matt, self-conscious, but not all the time. Sometimes she's super duper conscious, confident, but it's funny, man. I've watched her come from like a girl to a woman, and she's freaking amazing, man. And I've also seen her I've seen her bow up on some big dudes before in the middle of like some bullshit, and I'm like, she don't even know how strong she is, brother. She's playing arms with me one day, and she lumped me up good, man. She doesn't even know how strong she is. She's a beast. I'm super duper blessed, man. I don't know how I ended up with this one, but I got it. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Does she do any vanilla ice? No, I do that. That's my jam. Oh, what's up, Olympia? What are you doing, sis? I just seen you on here. That's cool, man. She's heard her sing a whole bunch of times. Let me see. Oh, did you get Bob playing the piano? Dude, homie can sing and play like you would not believe. He was doing a worship song that he was working on about maybe like 2 years ago. And he's like, hey, man, you mind if I play something for you? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man. He goes, no, but really, because I don't do this. And I want to share it with you. And he did, he sang. And I was like really touched by his voice and his passion and how well he played the piano. I mean, I was just like, oh, yeah, that kid's got fire. You know, the problem with Bob is that little bastard is talented at almost everything he touches. I freaking love that guy, man. But it is hard to compete with him. He's really good at everything he does. I don't want to boost his ego up too much because he's still human, but he's really talented. What's up, Joker? Let me see. What do we got here? Where are you at, trying and doing? You must be a little further west. Yeah, Six String City. I watched some of your stuff you playing, or saw some of your pics or something. I know you get down. You know, believe it or not, Tactically Torah Heath, that dude can play. He's been playing for 25 years, man. Super talented. He's been playing it since he was a kid. Has some epically nice guitars. Yeah, she's been singing in front of you for 25-ish years. Yeah, for sure. Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, she does pretty good at those for sure, Olymp. Let's see. What do we got? Do we describe ourselves as, hold on, this is Tommy Luck. Do we describe ourselves as Hebrews? Not by nationality, but probably by action. I mean, yeah, we do a lot of the similar stuff. Yeah, I mean, so the truth is that the scripture talks about being grafted in, and that's what we believe. And so if you're grafted in, what are you grafted into? Well, we're grafted into what was already established, which was Israel. And if you look at Jeremiah 31:31, it talks about the renewed covenant and what that is. And the renewed covenant is between Judah and the house of Israel. Between Judah and Israel. It's not between Gentile believers. It's not between Christians and all this other stuff. It's between those two people, those two groups. And if you are a believer in Yeshua and you believe that he died for your sins, he paid your debt, and that he mediates between us and the Father for us, and that that you have an opportunity to come boldly before the throne again because of his sacrifice, because he walked without sin, without breaking the Torah. If you believe all those things, then you're grafted into Israel. And if you're grafted into Israel, you have a responsibility to uphold the same set of rules as them. It's the same set of rules that the Father's always done. It's always his instruction, and then outside of that. And outside of that, there's blessing, there's no blessing, there's curses. It's whatever's going to happen. But if you walk in his statutes and you keep his Torah and you guard his commands and you love your neighbor and you love the Messiah and you love the Father, you can't help but experience the provision and blessings and peace that surpasses all understanding. There's so much to it. If you keep his feast days, if you keep all these things, if you do these things, if your fruit and belief in Messiah, in Yeshua, if the fruit of that salvation and your belief is showed through your actions, everything in my world changed when that happened. Everything changed. And the gray areas of Christianity were overtaken with answers and solution and fullness of understanding. And the Bible became one big picture to me, and not separate scenarios, not the God of the Old Testament and then now we have Yeshua. That's not what it turned into. That's what it was before. Then it became the Father throughout the entirety of the book, and the Messiah being prophesied and brought in, and then this thing happening for us to where we are now. But Matthew 5:17, he says that the Torah is not done away with until heaven and earth pass away, until all is accomplished. It's not all accomplished yet. It wasn't all accomplished on the cross. A bunch was, but if it was all accomplished, he wouldn't be coming back. So there's more to be done. He's got to finalize his work, finish what he has started. And I believe that those things are starting to come today. If we're not in the birth pains, we're right on the precipice of those, of what it's talking about. And maybe maybe we've been in the birth pains and it's a slow boil, like a frog in a pot. If you turn it up slowly, the heat, frog ain't gonna jump out. But if it's hot and you throw him in there, he'll hop right back out. I think maybe it's that, maybe it's been built up over so long that we're just used to the BS, and so it doesn't seem like much is happening, but it is. I mean, you think about the Great Deception. What is the Great Deception that the book talks about? Is it that there's no sin? Nobody knows what sin is anymore? Is that what the Great Deception is? Is it that the definition of sin has somehow been changed through modern day doctrine? That's what I think. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think. I think that it's been changed. I think that how can you know if you're sinning or not? In modern day Christianity, you don't know, because all that's about feel good and this and that, missing the mark and all this nonsense, that you really got it so much gray area. It doesn't give you exact stuff. But when you come into the Torah, you know exactly what sin is. If you're going against the Father's instructions, you know you're sinning. If you're going against Torah, you know you're sinning. You know what sin is. That's what Yeshua did. Kept the Torah. He didn't sin. It hasn't changed from the beginning of time till right now. It's never changed. The definition of sin has not changed. But somehow that is lost in modern day beliefs. People don't even know what sin is. They don't want to know. Because it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't make them feel good. It's not that feel good message. And that's what a lot of churches, most, I would say, have turned into feel good messages. They've got into scripted stuff that they picked up from other congregations that's not scriptural. It's some sermon on what they think that this verse could mean, maybe somehow, someday, or whatever. It's not You don't need that. I mean, dude, you could read out of Proverbs or Psalms and have a whole talk about it on Shabbat. But we have Torah portions. We have an instruction. And you know what's cool about Torah portions? Even if we're on different calendars, even if you believe that the Sabbath isn't even really the Sabbath day and it's on some other calendar, it's based off of moon phases. I don't care what you believe. If in fact, whatever Sabbath day that you're doing it on, which I believe it's on the 7th day of the week, which is our Saturday, which is off the best we can do with what the information we have is. If you're doing it and you're keeping the Torah and you're reading the Torah portions, we're of one accord. On Shabbat, we're all reading the same stories. We're all reading the same understanding. We're of one mind. We're learning the same thing every week. And we're all together. We're all doing this no matter where you're at in the world. Brother Jude is doing it, you know? So it's that to me is like super duper awesome. And I've never felt that way about any Christian doctrine church that I ever went to. And I went to a whole mess of different styles. I tried. I mean, I looked all over the place when I was in that world, and I checked stuff out and I looked, and I never had that. And like I said, the fullness of understanding comes through walking out. You know, faith without works is dead. Truly. If there is no works to prove your faith, it's just a feeling, bro. And that's what most of the modern day belief systems built on. It's just these feelings. There's no proof. There's no fruit. And so for me in my house, we got to have fruit. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this, is because we didn't know, and we wish somebody would have tried harder, would have just stuck with it long enough for me to catch something. And I know Baron and Pennant did that for me. He challenged the way that I thought and what I thought I knew about the scriptures. He said, hey, Leviticus says this, it says forever through your generations, and it changed. Yay, no? Yeah?
Yeah, but they're gonna do back behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, okay. But he said, yeah, we don't eat bacon because this Leviticus and forever through your generations and all these different things. And I was like, man, he gave a bunch of scriptures, and it was like on a Tactical Tuesday a couple years back. And I was like, man, it don't say that. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, man, it don't say that. And so after the live, I had went back and I watched a video and I wrote down the scriptures, and I went in and I was like, man, it don't say that. And I looked up the scriptures because I wrote them down. I went back and wrote them all down. I looked them up and in context, and I read them. And with my own eyes, I knew the word was true and what it was saying was true, and I couldn't argue it. And instantly I was like, it does say that. Holy shit. And that's when we started coming to the way, because it was just that one seed. So if I get one person, which I know the impacts of what this can do when you don't have people, or, you know, sometimes certain people just like sync with you well. Somebody came up to me, and the dude he was really cool. I was at the Ruckus, and a guy came up to me and he goes, hey, I watched your testimony on Across the Table with Bob, and I want you to know that it changed my life, because before I watched that, I thought there was no way I'd ever be worthy to be able to do this Torah thing or to come to the Messiah. And and I was so, yeah, she's on there. And I was so, I was like in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff, and I stopped and I was like, thank you, man. He goes, no, thank you. And I was, the guy, whoever he was, what his name was, I can't remember, but the guy was awesome. And it was an honor to be able to reach at least one person. And so that's what kind of inspired me doing this. I talked about doing it for a while, and so I'm fishing in a big pond. Anyhow, enough out of me. What's up in the comments?
I'm just refreshing all of this, but
okay.
I just heard, I'm Kelly Clarkson. I don't remember what that was. My dad used to say that all the time.
Oh, Olympia said that.
Yo.
So.
I'm trying to.
Bro, you're gonna have to catch me up, because I haven't read any of them. I've been talking for probably 15 since you left.
Forever.
Yeah, since you left, I was rambling. I have no idea what I said or if any of it made any sense, but.
Wow. Hold on, we're just catching up now.
Sorry, guys.
Where do you get the tassels? Did you already see that? Are they handmade? I have so many questions new to this.
who is that?
Actually
Is
been
that-
giving a lot of pork and shrimp away.
So I gave her
Sheila.
my email on iCloud the other day so that she can email and ask questions. And on that email, I may give you my wife's number and let you guys talk about it. But you can look up about the tassels. They're super duper important for a lot of different reasons. For one, it's so that other Israelites or other believers in the way can PID you, which is positively identify you. So when you see,
I don't know if they just, no, my face wasn't even in the screen. I just got smacked in the mouth with a big old bug.
it was a June bug tried to get in your mouth.
The ninja's trying to get me.
But they're really important because for me, when I reach down and touch them when I'm in public, I remember who I am and what I represent, and that my own flesh and desires are BS compared to his and compared to the body. And I don't want to put a bad, I want to represent in a positive way, but boldly, because I know I'm not a punk, dude. I'm not going to do,
Stop it. We gotta shut the garage.
Okay, shut it. And then
Shut the door.
you can use that 2x4 to knock holes in the wall,
Shut the door.
trying to kill that little bug that's trying to attack your mouth.
Ninja's trying to get me.
Stand by. Let me catch up in the chat. Vanilla ice. So Justin asked if you did any vanilla ice. I told him no, that's mine.
No.
We
Yeah,
talked
he
about
can get
Bob.
vanilla ice real good though. He can nail it.
Guitars.
June bugs are obnoxious. When we used to live in Arkansas,
I'm not even close.
we would have the lights on in the garage, and they had the windows above the garage door, and the freaking June bugs would just be like smacking against the garage door, like on the metal, and it sounded like straight, like just massive hail hitting the sides of the house. Oh, I used to not be able to handle bugs very well. I handle them better now. You wouldn't really know that unless you knew me then. But at one point when we first moved to Arkansas,
Bro.
I was on the driveway,
Bro.
hanging out with our friends. And
No, talk about the meeting you were at when it was on the
Oh,
ceiling.
dude, okay, so 2 things. I was sitting on the driveway and a June bug freaking came up and like hit me, and I launched my purse across the yard and started rolling like I was on fire and like screaming.
Put the fire out, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. I don't even remember what happened at the
Trying to
meeting.
put the pretend
I
fire
know that
out
there
on
was
my
a
best
big,
friend.
it wasn't a June bug, it was one of the water bugs, the big water bugs, and it was climbing on the ceiling in the middle of this meeting.
Water bugs, hashtag giant
And I'm
southern roaches.
Watching it, and it's like, I think it was like coming over me or something, and
It
I
was
was
coming like right over the top of you.
yeah, and I was like, I like ran out screaming, and then it like dropped or something, and
Yeah.
I ran out of the meeting like crying and hyperventilating, and it was rough. People were not very excited when I was around and there was bugs.
Yeah, she's a lot tougher than she used to be.
Yeah, I can handle
get it,
getting
Roxy.
smacked in the face
Get it,
with a bug
get it.
without
Good girl,
throwing
get
my
it.
whole laptop. You see it? Get it,
Get
Roxy.
it, get it. Good girl.
Good girl.
There you go. Good girl.
She,
Get it.
our dog, she
She may knock
she
the
hears
whole
me
thing
squeal.
over. Get it, girl.
If I'm outside or in the house and she hears me squeal, she will immediately run over and try to find what it is that I'm squealing about. Like, she is my protector. Like, she literally just follows me around when I squeal and tries to find what's trying to get
Hey,
me.
but she protected. What happened to that mouse though?
Oh, yeah.
Tell him.
Yeah, I was cleaning out the camper. We brought the camper down to kind of fix it up, clean it out, and it had mice in it. And I freaking was in the house or in the camper and like opened up one of the seats or something. And one of them, like, there was like a mouse, but it like almost jumped at me. And so I ran away squealing, and Roxy just like bolted in the house, like, run! She like went and got it and freaking went outside and got it. She like shook it and killed it outside. It was great.
It's like
She's a cat.
cat dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that show anymore. I used to watch it as a kid.
Cat dog?
Cat dog.
Oh.
Maybe that just told my age. Sorry about it.
Uh-huh.
Stop, drop, and roll on Pro Winfrey.
Oh, SK's on here? Oh, what's up, Sister Kate?
Oh, Sister Kate.
Shalom, sister.
Tasty food for chickens. Yeah.
For sure, dude. Oh, man, you know, I was at a brother's house the other day, and there was a dead raccoon on the edge of their property somewhere. And I was watching, these chickens are smart, man. They were over there, and every time like a bug would come out of the carcass, chickens would just take it off. They were there all day just eating bugs. I was like, man, it's a food dispenser. I like that.
Oh, Viking preparedness is on too.
Oh yeah?
And SK
Nice.
said a cicada landed on my arm this week, sort of checking me out. Okay, my friend and I were just talking about this. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen a cicada alive. I've only ever seen their like shells.
Dude, they're like
But
little aliens.
when the like super emergence of cicadas is supposed to happen, we're like, are they going to be on things? Because they seem to like stay in the trees, and I never see them unless they're dead. But like, do you see them in the wild?
Yes,
or do
you see them.
Do they exist outside of hiding in a tree?
They're all over the place at Ram Camp.
Really?
Yeah, they're really cool colored green. And they got like weird looking faces. They're just like little aliens with like, they're probably like this big. Yeah?
I know what they look like.
Yeah.
Journey of John says he remembers cat dog. It's a real thing.
Oh, what's up, altruistic
It's a
tourist
real
studies?
thing. That's a whole strategy. Black
Shalom, brother.
Black larva farming.
So
Let me go check with the fam real quick.
all right, yeah. So you guys may have got on here just in time because I think my wife and her family might sing some worship songs for us, which will be super duper nice. First ever. Yeah, it's sorry, I'm catching up on the comments, guys. Yeah, so the first time when I started dating my wife, I had no idea that she could sing. And it wasn't until maybe 6 or 8 months after we were dating, I heard her sing the first time, maybe even a year. Geez, it might have been longer than that. I think we actually had a baby. It might have been a year and a half. And we went to a karaoke bar, and they were singing, and she's like, hey, I want to go sing. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I heard like humming around in the kitchen a couple times. Dude, she got up there and just let loose. And the DJ for the karaoke guy was like, where did you come from, Stephanie? It was epic. It was so good. Yeah, it was really good. People were high-fiving her when she got down. I was like, sold. So after that, we'll probably bust the scriptures out again and nerd out with the word out for a little while, and then wrap it up for the night because we've already been on here for a hot minute. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, the funny I was doing fence work this week, and I was doing about 200 foot of steel pipe privacy fence. I'm gonna tell you right now, steel pipe's not fun, dude. It's not near as fun as doing like 4x4 posts for me. I mean, it's probably tougher, but everything about it is not forgiving. Like if your wood is like got a little bow in it or a little something after the concrete set, you can like flex it back and like nail everything together and it'll kind of hold a little bit, but steel pipe, you gotta be precise. It took me and my brother like all day to do a couple 100 foot of posts, just setting them in concrete. And then right at the end of us setting them, a big storm came through and we had like three pieces of pipe left. And I just tapped out because the lightning was cracking everywhere. And I like, Barrett and Pennant was telling me a time when he was a kid and he was holding a fork up, jumping on a trampoline and got whooped for it. Trying to get hit by lightning. And I felt like that story, like I'm holding this steel pole, like trying to get it level while we're dumping concrete, and I've got it all braced up. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing this right now. The lightning's cracking all around us. I was like, that's it, I tap out. Oh, Wrenches is on here too. What's up, dude? That dude, man, I can't say enough about you, man. You won the day on deployment multiple times. Yeah, that's gotta have people like that. So we're on standby waiting for my wife. So I'm gonna steal some tea really quick because I want some tea. Stand by. I'm about to take the whole phone and everything in the house, but I don't want to upset my spot or my family, so I'm like trying to figure out how to do it because I can hear them singing in there right now. Oh man. Yeah, well, hopefully they hurry up and get out here, Olympia, because I really want to. I've got a little piece of that blessing in my hopper a whole bunch of times, and I would love to share it with you guys because talking about it just doesn't do it justice. If you guys hear him sing, it's a treat. It really is a treat. So I don't know what their holdup is, but it probably has something to do with that they just were in a funeral today. Maybe, maybe not. Which, by the way, Steph's grandpa, which I didn't know, but I found out today at the funeral, he was a dog handler in Vietnam, which was, I mean, just the story about that, and then like all his guys. Dude, what a freaking awesome story that guy had. He had like such amazing things, and he came from like farming and ranching, and so he's able to fix anything, and that's like super handy when you're doing stuff like that. But he was a dog handler in Vietnam, police dog, and he probably had more stories that he had forgot than I could sit down and listen to a lifetime of him. He was always super cool, and I learned a ton of like construction stuff from him too. When he had a ranch in Northern California, I remember me and her would come up on the weekends and we'd do stuff, ride horses or shoot or whatever we were doing, shoot bows, and then they would have like a busted sprinkler or something, and then he'd teach me some kind of trick in order to get like a tough connection hooked up, and he'd be sitting there on the buggy, and I'd just be digging and gluing everything and getting all dirty, and he'd just be telling me what to do. And wealth of knowledge. Yeah, wealth of knowledge for sure. So they're singing in there right now, so I really hope they come out soon because I like it when my ribs out here with me. So earlier, I'm gonna show the people that just got on. So earlier, I had saw something online, and like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but it was talking about the first four seals in Revelations and the colors of the horses, and the colors kind of meaning something, because I never thought about it myself. But then, like almost all of the Middle East flag colors surrounding Israel, and I mean almost everything over there happen to be what color? Black, red, green, and white. Almost all of them. So check this out. Trip, man. It's yeah. And so I don't know if they actually go together or not, but I thought it was fascinating because I never really thought about the color of the horses meaning anything. So super interesting, and it was fun to talk about in the beginning of the live. For those of you that are just getting on, it's been kind of a trip studying that stuff, because I think more is going to be revealed for sure. Shalom, SK.
Okay, but the camera has to stay facing you.
Huh?
The camera has to stay
Okay.
facing you.
That's
it's
good.
So humid in here.
It is.
Sweaty.
It's very sweaty.
Okay. Are you live?
Yeah, I'm live. Yeah.
We're ready.
Okay. Send it. Everybody's here waiting.
Okay, I know that we're like greenhorns.
Yeah.
I told him to keep the camera that way so nobody's.
Okay. So no, like it's at me.
Thanks. He's got a guitar. I need a chair. Camera facing us.
You guys need a chair?
He said it doesn't matter if you flip the camera. Oh.
I just need to sit on something.
We're in pajamas today, there. Nobody cares if we're in pajamas.
All right.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
All right. So they're gonna get ready, and then they're gonna start going in a second.
This is what God says when it's time. It's time, right?
Yeah. So what are you guys singing?
Oh, okay, we'll share. Hold on. We're Amazing Grace, My Changer Gone Now.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Is it okay if I sit on this?
Yes. Are you out of time? Wait.
Live.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. How once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. The hours endless again. Okay. The hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And Lord will find His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace.
Did I make it a video?
The Lord has promised good to me. His words my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as I've been
You're getting so many hearts.
Uh-huh.
My
Yeah.
chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forgets to shine, but now who call me here below will be forever mine. Will be forever mine.
Woo! Yeah!
God is good. Yes. God.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you.
God bless. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Daddy,
Oh
what's
man.
your favorite?
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, stay out of the camera,
That was
son. You
very
gotta go
short
over there.
notice, but
Yeah. Anyhow, for on the fly, that was pretty good. All right, everybody in. Go in.
inside.
Love you, go in.
Inside.
Thank you.
So sweaty.
Good job on the Lego guitar. Yeah, epically cool.
So sweaty.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
We have to crack that out.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to end soon. I just wanted to get into the word for probably just a minute. Well, babe, you've been on here for a long time. That's only
Oh
9.
yeah, I was inside for a while.
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
not. Yeah, you were inside for a hot minute. I was out here like, I don't know what to do with my hands. So,
Catch up on the chats.
don't do that.
All right.
Okay.
Just a little flippity flip of the camera.
I
They
did.
will never know.
I
Did you?
flipped it for just a second.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh
Yeah, I debagged you. Sorry.
no. Dang it.
But look at everybody loves. They love.
Why you do that, man?
They love. It was just you and your mom, basically, and a little bit of Roy, I think.
That? I don't even have my teeth in.
Yeah, I ain't got my teeth in either.
Vanity. Vanity of vanities. It's all vanity. All right.
It was good, man.
I wish you guys could feel how sweaty and humid it is right now.
So,
Okay.
oh, SK got to hear. Nice.
Mama Panda
Oh.
and Fan sounds great.
Ah, look. They're having a sing along over there. You know who that is? What? How do you not know?
Oh yeah, okay. I see, I see.
That's our peeps right there.
Yeah.
Our touristic tour studies.
See, this is what it's weird because my family is very much like, if anybody starts any kind of song, everybody joins in and it takes off. So
Encore.
I feel like being around, like I'm around a lot of people who aren't that way. And so like, if you just break out in song, a lot of people will like look at you like, yeah, I know that song. But I'm so used to this family that like nobody can say anything or start singing anything without without everybody joining.
Yeah.
And so that's my type of like, I just want to be able to sing with peoples.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Altruistics Tourist Studies. Hey, brother, I just made you a moderator, so you get a wrench, and you get a wrench, and you get a wrench.
Opening and close out music every Friday night.
Hey, so listen, honestly, I totally would. Yeah, they loved it, by the
Are you
way.
taking
Yeah,
them?
like 50 people are all,
She's asking if you
encore.
can take them swimming.
They wanted more, yeah.
She's asking if she
They
can
want
take
them.
them swimming.
Yes, you can take them swimming. Bye. Yeah.
Oh my
Alright,
god.
cool. So,
That's funny.
um,
Let me see. Oh yeah. Family music is such a precious time for sure. Especially with like all this stuff.
they're like singing music. So her mom and stepdad have done classic rock, blues, and originals for 10, 15 years
Well,
together.
He had the band for a long time before she
So
joined.
20 years he's been doing it for. She's been doing it for 10 or 15 with them. And they're amazing. They do some really turnout shows, like really good shows. Yeah, he is phenomenal guitarist. He doesn't think so, but he's super humble about it. He's really good. Yeah, really good.
All right, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to read. Olympia.
Read out
My
loud.
family does that too, but we're all tone deaf, so it ends abruptly.
That's how I sing something terrible. I sound like a hurt animal. So
That's
I try
funny,
not to. I mean, I like to, but I suck at it. Babe, it's super
If you
duper
can't
hot in here.
sing, clap hands, stomp feet, or hum, yeah.
Yeah, I need some of those tambourines.
Yeah. Get
Let
the
me-
little like
my little shaky
little
things.
ones, the little fingered cymbals.
No, that's not. No, I
That'd be
can't.
fun.
No,
Or spoons. Learn how to play the spoons.
I-
I remember when we first moved out to the south-ish. I guess we're in the central. I don't know where we are. Anyways, Arkansas/Oklahoma. My dad used to make fun of me for becoming like, I don't know what he thought. But anyways, I found this video of this like little redneck guy with all teeth missing. He's sitting there playing the spoons. He's like,
Bro, I played
and then
the
I sent it to my
saxophone.
dad and was like, is this what you're imagining? He's like, yes.
I played the saxophone when I was young, and that was the only thing I learned how to play-ish. And I think I learned how to play maybe 2 songs on it, and they weren't that great. So, although I do like the saxophone.
Panda, you play a mean triangle, huh?
Shabbat shalom, brother.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should do some. It's I need my kids to learn some instruments because we could start up worship anywhere we are ever, but there's no instruments, and so it's weird when you're just like randomly spouting off with some sounds and everybody doesn't join in with you.
Yeah, for sure. I want to eat some more of that yummy stuff inside.
What about that spinning drum thing with the balls on strings? What?
I got all the jokes right now. I can't even. I'm gonna be inappropriate, so I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Thank you for filtering. It looked like we froze. It looked like we glitched for a second. We didn't. We actually just stopped, to process.
Yeah. Hey, so I made breakfast sausage earlier out of ground beef, and it was fire. And I mean fire. Like seriously, she just licked her fingers from touching it and like lit her mouth on fire.
Absolute like fire, hot fire.
You're not in the screen. You gotta lean this way, bro.
Meow.
There you go. Oh, hi. So I think, so like sage, a little bit of thyme.
We don't use sage. It's witchcraft. No, I'm just kidding. But we do cook with it.
Yeah, we're not smoking it either. So yeah, we're just.
Oh my gosh.
We're not cleansing spirits off our bodies. We're just cooking with it to make my breakfast yummier, which is cool. I used to do that sage stuff before when I was a freaking
heathen.
Yeah, when I was one of them other guys, not one of them dudes.
Back in the day, what is it? 2 Corinthians 5:17.
Before I knew.
Behold, gosh, I can't remember.
Well, then stop trying to quote it.
You have it on you. You should be able to quote it.
2 Corinthians 5:17.
Goodness.
Behold, all things. I don't know. All things are new. I used to know that one off the top of my head.
You have it tattooed on you.
Yeah, I know, but I got James 5 tattooed on me too. But I'm not like.
But we didn't actually finish which James 5 it was.
Yeah. It does have a couple dots after
2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Yeshua or is in Messiah, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come.
Has begun. There's new now. All things have been made new.
Oh, that's a song.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. And
exactly,
say,
SK.
What is that? Why would we say that?
What?
I don't know. That sounds like scammy.
Who?
It says it 4 times. I don't want to say that. I don't know what that is. It sounds scammy, so I'm not going to say that.
Hey, mods, if you got somebody in...
We don't know if it's scammy. They could be, for some reason, a serious thing, but I don't want to do that. I don't, like, it makes me nervous. Anytime somebody...
Leland, yeah, I don't know this cat, so if there's trolls in the chat, mods, put them in timeout if they keep it up. If they're not doing anything, don't schwack them.
Yeah. We don't know. We're just saying it's a little, I don't recognize this pattern.
Good for you. Okay. Good for you. Look at you.
Don't recognize this pattern.
Regulators.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. It's called a monkey drum, I think. What?
Oh, I heard that before.
Please play Prussia Gloria in YouTube, please. Right here? On my phone?
Play it.
Prussia.
Send it.
Gloria. Boom.
Trying.
Is that some the glory of Prussia? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Hopefully, it's not something weird. Who said it?
I don't know. I barely can read. I depend. I depend on you for that.
Except for the video. Hold on. Gotta mute the YouTube's videos.
The YouTubies.
What's that? Why am I playing that?
I don't know what you're playing right now, but that's not my jam.
I don't know what that is. Sorry about it. Who said that?
I don't know, bro.
Mr. Shoe? I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Do you know Mr. Shoe?
Nope.
I don't either.
Nope. But I have seen it twice.
Hey, so one of the reasons we got, I'll say it again because it's happening again, but there's going to be random people that are not subscribed to the channel, that are not us, that are not our people, that we'll definitely have to keep an eye on in the chats because they'll be trolling. So be mindful.
Can you talk about Leviticus 25, verse 5 from last week's Torah portion? Super confusing about resting the land, but it being food for you in the same verse. Oh,
this is an easy
good
one,
summary.
bro.
We had a good summary at Shabbat. It was, we are not gardeners, we are gleaners.
Yeah.
We're not planting,
Yep.
we're not going out harvesting, preserving.
Yeah.
We are able to eat of what grows, but we're not going to go and
You're not going
Process it.
You're not going to go and do a harvest. You're
Like
not going to go out and
Yeshua.
collect all your stuff and then go can it and do all that kind of stuff.
like
You're-
Yeshua eating the
or
grain.
sell it or any of that. You're just going to go out and, okay, well, we need a couple tomatoes for dinner. Boom, here we go. That's it. Or we're just going to go out and eat berries off the vine or whatever
Yeah.
we're doing. We're not,
Pruning, planting,
yeah,
harvesting,
not
processing.
turning the dirt. You're not fertilizing. You're not watering. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're letting it rest.
But if
And-
you like I'm at, like with Yeshua when he's out with the disciples and he eats the grains on Sabbath, it's like that is not harvesting. That
It's
is
not
not
Yeah.
like work. That is literally
just
like
eating.
just eating it, right?
Yeah.
So we're not processing the food. We're not going out saying, "Oh, I'm going to put this in the freezer," or "I'm going to harvest all this and put it in the dehydrator or the freeze dryer or
Yeah,
whatever."
let me go get
You can eat what grows. Go out if you want a tomato. Go eat a friggin' tomato, but don't go out and harvest all the tomatoes and make spaghetti sauce.
yeah, if you wanted to make like beef and barley and you got a bunch of barley that you brought in off the thing, then that's cool. But I don't know if I would say that we're not gonna go out and get a bunch of wheat and grind it and you know what I mean? Like make bread that's out there, like harvest to do all, I don't think so.
So I think that's because mainly it was fields. Like a lot of their crops were fields of stuff like wheat. And I mean, whatever they eat, parched grain. Ruth and Boaz, I think, or whoever, they were eating parched grain. So apparently preparing grain was, I don't know.
Barley, dude, you can just like, you can cook barley and it's really good, man. I don't know if you guys have ever had barley and beef like stew. It is so freaking good, man. Yeah, it's really good. I love it.
Spent so long last week on that one verse, verse 5 through 4. Keep reading, it's awesome.
Well, it's just to simplify it because you've got to get the bigger picture, and the bigger picture might have other chapters of the same stuff in it. Like the second telling in Deuteronomy and stuff like that, it kind of breaks some of it down, I think, too.
Yeshua didn't bring a basket to collect the crop, right?
That's right.
They ate it.
That's right.
Yep.
They just ate it along the way.
Yep.
Gleaning. Eating what you
Do
need
you
to
guys
eat.
want to play? Oh, I'm not. Yeah, these are all weird. We're getting weird people on here.
What is it?
Nope, somebody got him. Good job, guys. Good job.
Thank you. Schwack them if you got to. Timeout. And if they're like a straight creepo, just give them the boot, man, because I ain't got patience for it.
But if there's some people that really are going to get on and actually have questions and curiosity because they don't have any idea what the hell we're talking about.
Oopsies.
Know what I mean? Let me see. Whoa, I was singing along while pairing up shoes and taping them together and writing sizes on them for my pops to give out to at his homeless breakfast. That's awesome.
Justin smacking them.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, Dante the Donkey is a cartoon. Okay. Where did you buy that hat? Where did you like that? Ooh, yeah. I'd like to hear PJ's explanation of Revelation 6:8 and the green horse. We were talking about the green horse on here earlier. I don't know if PJ's still on, but we were talking about the green, right?
26 seconds.
Oh, he's not here.
Way inappropriate, homie.
He did not.
Who?
He did not hear me.
What?
Somebody said I'd like to hear PJ's explanation on Revelation 6:8 and the green horse.
For sure. Look at.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't have a power pack, dude, and my phone is getting ready to
What
die.
What denomination are you? So there's not really a denomination that we fit in.
Let me break this down.
Okay.
So, we're whole Bible believers, which means that the Old Testament is just as valid today as it was before, except for the fact that we have a Redeemer that has already paid the price for our sins. I'm not going to articulate it the best, but what we do is we follow the way. So if the biblical definition of sin is breaking the commands, then we don't do that. And what that means for me, basically, just in a really quick summary, I read the book and I do what it says. Basics. And if Yeshua, the Messiah, if he didn't sin, which means he kept all of the commandments, all the law, and we're supposed to follow in his footsteps, then that's what I'm going to do. Regardless of whatever Christian doctrine or Pauline doctrine that you takes Paul's writings out of context, because that's basically what they're doing, and build some kind of Christian denomination on it. I don't do that. I read the book and I do what it says. And so what I do is I follow the way, the truth. That's it.
We don't quite fit with Christianity because we do believe that Ezekiel 36:25 through 27 is saying that the purpose of the Holy Spirit being given was to teach us to walk in the Father's commandments. But we don't really fit in with the Jews because we believe that Yeshua is the Messiah that the Father has promised, that is supposed to be able to cleanse us so we can live and walk in the Holy Spirit.
We also believe that if there's a renewed covenant, we know who it's prophesied that it's who it is with. That's in Jeremiah 31:31. That is with Judah and Israel. And so what is it in? It's not in Romans or Galatians.
Which one?
Grafting.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, so anyhow, I think it's in Romans. Talks about being grafted into the tree, olive tree, and the natural branches and all that. I believe the grafting as us being grafted into Israel, which is the body of the Father's chosen people.
Hold on. You were once. I'm going to look this verse up.
And the Jeremiah 31:31 is, that's who the renewed covenant is with. Where's the Gentile believers in that? There isn't any. So I'm not a Gentile believer. I'm grafted into Israel through faith in Messiah.
This is going to fit perfectly. So,
but also, I don't believe that my works earn salvation at all. My salvation is only through faith. That's it. It's just through faith in Messiah that he died and he already paid for my sins, that he's already redeemed me. But through my faith, you're going to see works, you're going to see fruit, you're going to see obedience to the Father's commandments, because that's my belief.
So this goes, I'm going to say, this one goes back to what you were just saying. So Ephesians 2, starting at 11, therefore remember that at one time you Gentiles in the flesh, called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, which is made in the flesh by hands. Remember that you were at that time separated from Messiah, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world.
Yep.
But now, in Yeshua Messiah, you who were once far off have been brought near by the blood of Yeshua, for he himself is our peace, who has made us both one and has broken down in his flesh the dividing wall of hostility by abolishing the law of commandments, which people say, oh, the law is abolished. It's not, because he says he didn't come to abolish it specifically.
To fulfill, which
but
means
this
to
says,
do.
as the law of commandments expressed in ordinances, which is the word dogmas, which usually means man-made decrees, and that he might create in himself one new man in place of the two, so making peace, and might reconcile us both to God in one body through the cross, thereby killing the hostility. So we were once far off, separated from Israel, the promises, the covenant, and God. But through Yeshua, we've been brought in, just like what he was saying with the grafting, we've been grafted in to those promises, to the covenant, even though we were physically uncircumcised.
Yeah, who asked that question?
I don't know.
Where was that one? Oh, here we go.
Jared Zuck.
Jared Zuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So,
the
whole
nations
Bible.
are granted citizenship through Yeshua. Yes.
Yep.
So now it's that when they say there's no more Jew or Gentile, that means that everybody who believes in Yeshua now, no matter where
It
they
says,
are,
where are you
who they
reading
came
from?
they all are grafted in because we all have the same spirit. And the spirit came to the uncircumcised as well as the circumcised. So physical circumcision does not affect your salvation, because he gave the spirit to the uncircumcised. Abraham received his promise when he was uncircumcised. So let me see. We both still believe in God, which is good. Yes, we do. We just, in our minds, we have to, maybe he's talking about somebody else.
No, so so yeah, and I think that what happened for us is what happens for a lot of people, probably in coming to the way and having the fullness of understanding of the scriptures, where it becomes one big book and not not a Old Testament and then a New Testament, and like they're two different worlds.
Yeah.
They're not really.
It's the same exact, like the old is predicting the new is explaining the old.
Sin hasn't changed from the beginning of time until right now. It's still the same thing. The Father, the creator of everything, the heavens and earth, says, do this and don't do this. Stay within these things. Stay within my blessings. Don't do this and you do this. If you go outside of that, you're going against his will for you, going against his will. You're not trusting him. And that is what sin is you're going against him. And that's the basics of what it is.
Dang it, where's the verse?
We can get into the weeds of defining that, but I can give you some New Testament definitions.
There's a lot.
1 John 3:4. There's another one about if you know the right thing to do and you don't do it, for you this is sin. That's about your personal walk. So if you have a conviction about something specific that you're not supposed to do or that you're supposed to do, and you don't do it, for you that is sin. Because having the Holy Spirit hashtag means something, right? So if you're not acting on your convictions. Now this doesn't mean if I have a conviction about
After.
not drinking sweet tea, right? And then I'm gonna go to my brother. No, after what?
Sorry, I'm trying to slyly answer people.
Okay. If I have a conviction about not drinking sweet tea, I can't take that to my neighbor or my brother and be like, hey, I got this really bad. I'm convicted. I'm not going to drink sweet tea anymore. And I think if you drink sweet tea, you're sinning. I can't do that, because then what I've done is I've taken a personal conviction and started my own religion, my own doctrine out of it. That's not scriptural. For my walk, my personal walk, if I'm supposed to back off of something or do something that I'm not doing, personal conviction, as long as I'm not interfering with Torah, breaking Torah, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of our own personal journey.
Also, here's another one for the side chat here.
Side chat.
Revelation 14:12. Here is a call for the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Yeshua.
And their testimony. Which one was that?
That was
Oh,
Revelation 14:12.
Okay, now flip back to
12.
Revelations 12:17. Read that one.
12.
And the woman was
Wait,
enraged
maybe
with
I'm
the woman.
wrong. No, I was right.
Yeah, you're right. Go back.
Okay.
Yep. It keeps going, but that's good.
Mew.
But there's another one, Revelations 12:17, and it says that,
Oh, yeah.
and the woman was enraged with the dragon was enraged with the woman and went off to make war with her offspring, those that keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yeshua Messiah. Mm-hmm. That's in Revelations.
Yep.
So they're guarding the commands, they're doing the commands, they're keeping the Torah, they're keeping the law, and they have the testimony of Yeshua. And so these are all little unlock codes where it makes more sense to what they're actually talking about when you read it. That's what it says versus what we're taught it says. What they mean by that is, it's just what it says.
Where does it say after? I can plug your phone in on my laptop, by the way.
Oh, well, you should do that.
Mm-hmm. Where's
Super
the
duper
one?
quick.
It's in Matthew 24, right?
I'm
the one that says, like, it literally, because somebody's asking, do you believe in, do you believe he's coming back after the tribulation or before? I said after. I believe in after too, but I hope the people who believe are in before are correct. But there's one verse that literally says, like, after the tribulation of those days, but I can't remember what in context, which one. Oh, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light and the stars, blah, blah, blah. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man. So, after the tribulation.
After the tribulation. It says so
It does say
in
so.
the Gospel of Matthew.
Matthew 24.
Yeah.
What shall we? Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
Ah, my dippies.
Does it really? Oh my God, encouraging community. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it's kind of funny. Let me see. Some eat meat, some eat veggies, same God. Some feel they have to have the wool shirt. Some don't need the discipline.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know what that means. I think that at this point it's some eat meat, some eat veggies was about people who were not eating meat at all because of they were afraid it was sacrificed to idols. And that's not about like
Yeah, that's not
dietary
about.
laws.
Yeah, it's not about dietary laws because Paul never declared all things clean.
and realistically
That's not what he did.
Even
The
though-
rest of his story, when it comes to that thing that gets cherry picked, if you read the rest of that, it talks about the three men that were not Hebrew Jewish guys that were coming, that were common, that he wanted. That's what his vision was about. But he would just happen to be hungry, and so because he was hungry, and it says that he was hungry, the Father used that as a way to get to him because he knew that was where Peter was at right then.
What's interesting is that the scriptures not one time
What is this?
ever allow this. No, don't allow. The scriptures never at any time debated the dietary laws. Like it was never up for question. So all of the verses where it sounds like they're saying you can eat whatever you want, they all are talking about something completely different. But if you like when you read it, there wasn't actually any time that the dietary laws were ever brought up because the Father made that one very, very clear. That is just one of his rules from the very beginning. And we can prove it, I guess. We can explain it. I hate to say prove it because it's like, oh yeah, well then prove it. I don't like the word prove it, but I feel like it's like if we were to have a conversation, we would be able to actually prove it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that sounds like an arrogant thing to say, and I don't mean to say it in that way. I don't know how else to word it. Ooh, I heard myself.
No sounds, please.
Yeah, my bad.
Dude,
Use
Justin,
this
you're
game.
super duper busy in there, aren't you?
Is he just
Oh
swagging
yeah,
away?
yeah. There's people in there just getting hammered.
Let me see. I believe in after 2. Okay, yeah. His name means semi-secret account. It's so interesting. He who endures till the end will be saved. Exactly. Which command should we keep? Oh, I don't know what that says. Kept that Yeshua did not keep. That sentence didn't quite make it all the way. So I'm not super sure what that meant. That wasn't a sentence. My brother just died and I'm having a psychotic break. I love God, but I'm scared of him. Why am I ignoring him? He's not ignoring me. Yeah, honestly, I've struggled there lots of times. And usually it takes a minute to be able to like remember and resurrender and just give it all to him and say like everything I think I need, everything I think I want, everything I'm trying to do means nothing without him. So like being able to say, you know what, here I am again, take me and like lead my life. You know what I mean? Yeshua did keep all the commandments. Yeah, I couldn't quite understand what the other one was saying. Let me see. Here come the trolls. Yeah, we're late at night apparently.
Yeah.
I think they're trolls.
So that's what I was saying.
My
as we leave
fingers
it-
are burning.
Hey, but we got some new people and we're able to witness a little bit, which is super
Yeah.
cool. And that's what makes it worthwhile, even though there's a bunch of trolls on here
Yep.
with like some ridiculous stuff. It's okay, you know, it really. So like, if it gives us an opportunity to witness to people, don't schwack them unless they're like blowing the chat up. If they're blowing the chat up with a bunch
you
of
can tell that it's
nonstop,
scam.
or they're just saying like ridiculous stuff, put them in timeout or take their comment off. But if they're all the way trolling, just give them the boot.
Let's see. Okay. All out of context. Yeah, for sure. It's so, and it's funny because like once you understand Paul's writings and you see what he's talking about, it says something completely different. And the block that we have when we read Paul is literally other people's explanations. What's up? Oh, sorry. I thought you were mom.
No,
You need something?
she told me to come get some,
Oh, do it. Yeah, you're good.
and I know what I'm told.
Maybe confirm it or provide evidence of compared to prove it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because that one really does that like anybody saying prove, like yeah, it just sounds like rude or aggressive or something. He said his fingers are burning. Okay, no trolls. Honest question. Do you believe that the blood of Yeshua is sufficient to satisfy God's wrath for you?
Of course. Of course.
Shabbat
Yeah.
Shalom, Journey Dawn.
How would it not be? If it wasn't
What are we doing all
sufficient,
this for?
then he wouldn't be the Messiah. Of course. Yeah, he's the Messiah. Yeah, he's already atoned. So if you repent and turn from your sins and go back to the Father's ways and keep his ordinance and follow his Torah
And follow the Messiah.
and follow in Messiah's steps, then yes, of course, because he didn't break the Torah, he didn't break the scriptures. And modern day Christianity doesn't teach the same thing.
And that doesn't mean that like if you sin, you're separated. It means that like the Spirit came to convict us of sin. The Spirit came to give us an extra armor against the enemy with our flesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's don't get too in the weeds on that one because I want to see what the next comments that they have to say, because you get a lot of other belief systems other than Christianity that come on here and they want to put some stuff on there that there's not really. It's stuff that's way after the fact of when the scriptures were written and even when the Messiah came. It's stuff that happened and that's their religion and is what it is, but it's not what we believe.
Yeah, Paul had a PhD in Torah. We are kindergartners in Torah, exactly. But even as a PhD in Torah, he still was like a child being brought to light, understanding after learning about Yeshua. So he, with all of his knowledge, it gave him a deeper understanding of Yeshua, but he had to like relearn what he had known. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All I know for sure is that the scriptures are real, and if you read them in context, you're going to get truth. And if you're not sure about that, pray, because he's listening. And if you pray and you ask him to show you truth, he's going to show it to you, and that's it. And I don't want you to believe my truth or her truth or the guys in the chat or any of that. That's not the truth that I want you to. Everything that I say or she says or anybody in the chat, proof text it with the scriptures in context, because I don't want you subcontracting your faith to me, because I'm just a dude. I'm not here trying to teach. I'm sharing my understanding, and that's it, because I could be wrong. And hopefully my understanding will increase and it will get refined and it will become better and more clear over time, because I'm just a baby at all this stuff, man. I mean, I ain't been doing this for, decades or anything like that. I'm still new myself. I just know that now that I have seen, I cannot unsee the truth in the scriptures.
Yeah.
It's not going to go back to, oh yeah, it's cool to do Christmas and all this nonsense that's made up. I can't.
We are all servants and we are all teachers helping one another. And that to me is like when you see what it talks about as the congregations, like in the New Testament.
This is
it gives
fellowship.
you instructions on how to like operate the New Testament, and it should like in love, in unity, in truth, learning, teaching, praying. Like we should, and the fact that they're like, what we want is to be able to like let people know that there is a doctrine out there, and that there is a different, there's a different scripture, a different Bible that exists outside of that man-made doctrine. Okay. And so like when you're able and willing to leave that kind of like man-made box, everything opens up to a whole different light. And when you start testing it and your eyes start opening, then you're just like you start back at the beginning. Like when you're a brand new believer and you want to learn everything there is to know about Yeshua, and you want to know everything there is to know about the Bible. And then all of a sudden you start like kind of coming to Torah, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we have to start back at the beginning. Like now we got to relearn everything. There's so much to know. And so it seems like it's just a journey of like learning something, having to go back and like read all of it in that context, in that understanding.
Yeah, what's hard about it for me too is that because for a whole bunch of generations, way before our time, before our fathers' time and before their time, there was a doctrine that had already started that turned into what it is today, which is this feel good, this lawless Messiah that's not biblical, and that's not somewhere along the way. People, like when you get baptized in Christianity, I was never told what sin was. Nobody could ever explain that's falling short of the mark, brother. Oh, okay, cool. Like I didn't know what that meant, and it was never broken down for me. And I can't tell you how much shalom I get, how much peace that I get, that when I study now I can see, okay, this is going against him. I don't want to do that. This is what he wants me to do. I'm going to do that. And it gives me something. You got something?
Yeah, he
Go
said
ahead.
he fulfilled the Torah for us by giving his life. It is through grace, not works. Those who trust in Yeshua have entered into his rest. Can I answer this one? Can I explain this one at least?
Sure.
So a lot of people will read like he fulfilled it as if he abolished it, but I heard this and it was like a new to Torah video or something, and
Yeah.
he said how the people are reading it is he did not come to abolish the law, but to abolish it. And it's like,
That's not
no,
what
he came
happened.
to fulfill it. He came to do it. He came to perfect it, because through the law we would die. Our sin would cause death because we could not perfect the Torah. He perfected the Torah and took that death that we deserve because we'll never be able to perfect it.
Paid our debt.
So he took that part of the law that like perfection is the only way to or eternity, and he's like, here we go. Now all my people come with me, but that doesn't mean when it says that.
Hold on. So let me jump in. So if you believe that you don't have to keep any of the law, Yeshua or Jesus, if that's the word you want to use, what does he say in Matthew 5:17 through 20? Because it says, until heaven and earth, not the smallest stroke will be done away with from the law until all is accomplished. Well, all is not accomplished, because if it was, he wouldn't be coming back. And also, I'm pretty sure heaven and earth haven't passed away yet. So the doctrine that you have learned is usually coming from what Paul's writings are. The problem with that is Paul's letters are specifically to specific people. And you don't have the letters that he received that he's responding to. So you don't have the context and what he's talking about. Paul would never say to sin against the Father.
No.
And Paul knew, he knew sin, but by the law. That's his own words. Mm-hmm. Should we sin the more that
grace may abound?
No, we should not sin more. Mm-hmm. But what is sin? 1 John 3:4, sin is lawlessness.
He also says, I don't know the exact words, do we get rid of the law because of grace? No, we uphold it. We uphold the law.
We uphold the law.
We learn to do it.
Yeah, and if we're supposed to walk in Jesus' footsteps, did he break the law? Did he break the Torah? Did he keep all the commandments? Of course he did. Mm-hmm. And he didn't do that and go into the synagogues and read the scriptures, read the Torah, read the prophets on the Shabbat to say, hey, pretty soon y'all ain't gonna have to do none of this stuff no more. That's not what he was doing. That's not what that's a lawless Jesus. And the people that believe that, most modern day Christianity that believe that, can never witness to Jews in Israel. They cannot witness to them because Israel's never going to accept a lawless Messiah. Mm-hmm. And I'm not either, because what I used to do is subcontract my faith and understanding and not read the scriptures in context.
I have to, because there seems to be a couple things. We're talking about the difference between, sorry. Oh, do you need me?
I need somebody. Either one, whoever starts talking, keep talking.
Okay. The difference between works-based salvation and salvation bringing on works. So a lot of people, right, like we're going to get a lot of people saying salvation is by grace, 100%. Like by Yeshua's Messiah, by his sacrifice, we are allowed into the family. We are given the Spirit to dwell in us, to teach us, right? We are no different than the Jews. We are grafted in just the same. But when you have been brought into the family, when you have been, I don't know if, I guess salvation is the right word. Like once the Spirit has been given to you, you now start producing fruit. Okay? We start, stop, Justin, I can't. We start to produce fruit in accordance with the Father's word. And Ezekiel, I feel like I'm going to read this almost every video, because who knows who's going to watch it. But I'm going to go because a lot of people say we're in the new covenant. We don't have to do the law. That was for the Jews, okay? And the problem with that doctrine is it does not align with the scriptures. It does not align with what the Father prophesied to us what it would look like and be for. So we're going to go for Ezekiel 36. I don't know why whenever he leaves I get so nervous and stuttery. Anyways, I'm going to read it because we're just apparently going to read it forever. Ezekiel 36 verse 25 through 27. And I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean from all your uncleanness, and from all your idols I will cleanse you. And I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you. And I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh, and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and be careful to obey my rules. So like the point of the Spirit, we're going to go into Jeremiah 31:31. I feel like these are very basic ones that are very good to every video.
Nerd out with your word out.
So Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. First, remember, if you are a Gentile, you are not part of Israel and Judah, right? But because we have been grafted in by the blood of Yeshua,
Through
now
faith.
we are, because this covenant is only for Israel and Judah. But how is the new covenant applicable to Gentiles being brought in unless we're grafted into Israel, right? Not like the covenant I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant that they broke, though I was their husband, declares Yahweh. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And no longer shall each one teach his neighbor and each his neighbor or his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So to me, that is where the like.
So salvation is through faith alone. Mm-hmm. But in that, you got to understand still what sin is. Sin isn't changed from the beginning of time till today. Sin is the same thing. If the Father says do something and you don't do it, you're sinning. Well, he happened to, because humans are so dumb that he had to have a book written down with all the rules and regs of if you're going to be his people, you're going to live inside of these statutes. Mm-hmm. There is clean and unclean food. There's clean for you to eat, and then there is unclean. There is holy and set apart, and then there is not. Then there's the other stuff. And it's easy, dude. When I started coming to the food diet, every single thing that I would argue with, well, how could it be if you get all this, you can eat it and it's good for you, or blah, 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 blah. Every single one of those things was part of an ecosystem that was designed as a filter. Pigs, shrimp, catfish, all this different stuff. And it went on and on and on and on and on. And none of that stuff was necessary to eat. And it was really easy for me to start seeing that. But
I have this verse. This is a different verse. Ready? This is in Romans. I know everybody's like, you should read Romans. You should read Ephesians. You should read Galatians.
Send it, sister.
I saw a meme, and it was a guy, and he's like, I do not think that Paul is saying what you think he is saying. But to me, this explains the salvation, right? This explains what the goal is here. This is Romans 6, verse 15 down. What then? Are we to sin because we are not under the law but under grace? By no means. Do you not know that if you present yourselves to anyone as obedient slaves, you are slaves to the one whom you obey, either of sin, which leads to death, or of obedience, which leads to righteousness. But thanks be to God that you who were once slaves of sin have become obedient from the heart to the standard of teaching to which you were committed. and having been set free from sin, have become slaves of righteousness. So he has set us, he has, what's the word?
Sanctified.
He has brought us out of having to be slaves of sin, right? To become slaves of righteousness through obedience.
What is righteousness? Blamelessly walking in the commands. That's in the New Testament, I'm pretty sure.
And realistically, like, it should be, this is what's twisted. It should be as simple as,
I'm gonna jump in.
Dad said, don't do this. If you love the Father and he gave instructions for his people and you consider yourself his people, you should be obedient to the way that he designed for his people who are to be set apart. We are to be set apart as his people, and he gives us very clear instructions on how to worship him, how to not worship him.
Your translation may say holy. If you're going to be a holy people underneath the Father, the creator of all, and your high priest, your Messiah, your salvation is giving us an example in the flesh on what to do and how to do it. Somebody in the comments said, is this a Jewish teaching or a Christian? Well, see, here's the thing. It's not either, because we're not Christians, but we believe in the Messiah. And we're not Jews because we're not Jewish, for one, but it's irrelevant. Judaism is when you take the scriptures and you stack extra biblical definitions and meanings on top of them. So if you're going to eat clean, well, then you have to do this in order to eat clean, and that's totally different. That's Judaism. That's not the same thing we're talking about.
It says, wait, I'm confused. Is this Jewish or Christian teaching?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you answered it.
Yeah,
now.
I'm answering it right now.
I was like, because it's fitting what you're saying right now.
Because that's the purpose of it, is if you've got a witness of what we're saying all the way at the back of the book in Revelations, which is, again, we'll go back to Revelations 12:17 or 14 what? Anyhow, so Revelations 12:17, it says, and the dragon was enraged with the woman and went off to make war with the offspring or the remnant of her seed, those that guard the commands of Elohim, God, right, and have the testimony of Jesus. So it's not one or the other. It's not just keeping the commandments, and it's not just having the testimony of Yeshua. It's both.
So this one says, Colossians 2:16, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of any holy days or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. So there is so much.
It's a backwards context,
yeah,
though. That context isn't, you're not in context with
there
that.
is so much, like every word of, every like couple words of that could be rabbit holed, but in like a summarized version, they weren't being judged for not doing these things. They were being judged for doing them because they had pagan people over here telling them that they shouldn't be doing these Jewish days. And then they had Jewish people telling them, unless you're circumcised, you can't come in and keep these holy days. So the verse wasn't talking about people who oh, well, you're judging me because I eat pork. It had nothing to do with that. The verses, all of the verses about meat, were all about food offered to idols. None of it had anything to do with the dietary laws. It had to do with people abstaining from all meats because they were afraid it had been sacrificed to idols. And you see that 1 Corinthians 8 and 1 Corinthians 10. Paul answers himself. He repeats himself in most of his writings, but without seeing the other parts of that where he explains in detail what he's talking about, you're only getting little glimpses. This is what we're talking about, reading it in context, actually using Paul to answer Paul. Because he doesn't contradict the Father. He doesn't contradict Yeshua. He doesn't contradict Peter or John or the prophets.
Or the
David.
Torah.
Yeah, he doesn't contradict any of it. He only is confusing, which Peter warns us in, it's 2 Peter 3:15, I think. And he says, Paul's writings are hard to understand. People are going to twist them. So make sure that you're not led into lawlessness. So we can see that Paul's writings can be twisted to be led into lawlessness.
Also, what is it that the Messiah says to people when it says, didn't we prophesy and cast out demons and do all these mighty things in your name? And he goes, depart from me, I never knew you. You what?
You workers of lawlessness.
What law are they talking about? They're talking about the Torah, the same law that was given to Moses by the Father, that if you're going to be his people, here's the statute to live in. And then we can go all the way back to, if you're new and you're just jumping in the chat, if you're not sure if you're supposed to keep keep the commandments or not. Look at Matthew in the New Testament, Matthew 5:17 through 20. Tell me that heaven and earth has already passed away, so there's no law anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. And then we'll move on from this topic, but you can't in context prove that.
On what basis will you enter heaven? Okay, so this
Through
is
faith alone.
So this is okay. Here's the thing. If Moses believed in God, right? Moses saw mighty works in like he saw a lot of things happening. God did a lot. So obviously Moses believed in him, right? But when Moses was disobedient to God, the Father came and said, because you did not believe in me.
Out of his disobedience.
Because he was disobedient. Obviously, we know that he believed. And there's a verse that says, even the demons believe and shudder. Okay? So believing in God, believing in Yeshua is not what it means. Because the demons believe too and shudder. Okay?
Faith without works is dead.
Right.
Paul
so
says that.
if you actually have belief in Yeshua, if you have belief in the Father, if you are indwelled with the Spirit, you will be sanctified into walking out the Father's commandments. The only thing that puts a hardship on that, as I'm a new Christian believer, I read the Word, I feel convicted to do these things. People teach you don't do that. They deliver these verses that make sense, and you're like, okay, well, I see how that could mean that. Okay, so we don't do that anymore. And it becomes ingrained in your brain where you're like, we don't do that. But there's always that little like nagging where you're like, but if he said to do it, shouldn't we just do it? It's not that, like, is your bacon worth it? Is it worth possibly going against the Father, right? Like, I love him. I want to do my best to walk with him. I want to show him how much I love him. Will my showing him how much I love him ever earn me salvation and eternity? Absolutely not. But my love for him will show through my works. He will be able to take me and sanctify me. He will be able to chisel away of all the things that are bad. But the word has to be allowed. And people tell us that only, let's go to it. Where's Matthew? We're going to go that only this much of the entire Bible
Hold on,
is
Justin.
true. It's
Justin.
real. You don't know who we're supposed to be, who the Father is, or any of that without the rest of this, okay? We can't even understand what Messiah's purpose was without the rest of this. So when we're being taught, this is how you do it. You just believe that Jesus exists.
Hold on. Gingerbread's on here trying to say that we're trying to brainwash people. No, what we're trying to do is we're trying to share the scriptures in context.
We're trying to let people know that they're being brainwashed.
If Christianity is true and your denomination is right, and maybe all Christianity, right? All denominations, they're all going to heaven. How come there's 41,000 different Christian denominations? There's no unity in that. Zero unity. There's all these different doctrines and boxes that they want you to fit in, but they're not the Father's box. They're not his way.
You go over and over.
The word is truth. And if you pray for his truth, he's going to show it to you. This isn't something that me and her made up one day and we just came to this conclusion and we're trying to tell people. This is something that has been there the whole time that modern day Christianity has missed. And it has passed on through generation and generation of false doctrine, of false teaching, of a lawless Jesus. There's not such thing.
We do believe in Jesus. We just call him Yeshua.
Yeah, that's his Hebrew name because there's no J in Hebrew.
But his name was actually, what's interesting is his name is actually translated, if we were to translate it like to English, it would actually be Joshua, because his name, the spelling of his name is exactly the same as the spelling of Joshua, the guy in the Bible.
Yep.
It's the same name and it means salvation. So when we don't call him by that name, it does take away some of the power, because when you say it's actually Yehoshua or whatever, but you're like claiming on salvation.
It's if you want to call him Jesus and that's where you're at, that's where you're at. We're not going to like
you
try to
convicted,
you have to call him this name or you're wrong. We're not holy namers.
No.
And I don't. If you're seeking truth, you'll find it.
If you're
That's the
convicted,
truth.
do it.
Yeah, if you're seeking truth, you'll find it. And if you don't care about truth, if you're all the way learned and you can't learn anything new and there's no possible way you could be wrong and that this is all just a fairy tale thing, prove it in the scriptures. Prove it out of Matthew 5:17 through 20. prove what you're saying is right. Because based on that, or based on a New Testament definition of what sin is, 1 John 3:4, what are those talking about? Because if you don't know what they're talking about and you're just guessing what they're talking about, the rest of the book doesn't make sense to you either. Those ones make sense if you're listening to what we're saying. The whole book, it's one whole book. It's not an old book and a new book, and the old is done away, and then now that's not the truth.
So this guy said, this person, what about Revelation 3:9? So this one, we could read, I know your works, behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut. I know that you have but little power, and yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down before your feet, and they will learn that I have loved you.
See, we're not saying we're Jews.
And this is not talking about people who are trying to obey the Father's commandments. This is talking about the people who claim, I'm circumcised, I have the law, but they are the ones that Yeshua was rebuking when he's saying, you have a way of putting aside the commandments of God and holding to traditions of men, okay? Over and over, that theme appears in the New Testament where you think because your works are there, it's not about your works, it's about your heart, right?
Man, this is a good one.
And
I
it's
love
not
it
your
tonight.
heart
It's
like
the best.
your person heart. It's the law on your heart, okay?
Yeah.
Because Yeshua says he's praying. He prays for everybody. And he says, John 17, and he says, sanctify them in truth. Your word is truth.
Oh,
and
this is
at
so
that
good.
point that the Gospels happened, when Yeshua says, your word is truth, he's praying to the Father. The Father's word is truth. We hadn't had any of the Gospels written yet. We didn't have any of the New Testament writings written yet. He's saying the Father's word is truth. So the one who comes in and teaches people lawlessness, the one who comes in and teaches people to forsake the Father, the one who's been trying to corrupt the Father's creation since the beginning is Adam and Eve. No, but he did do it to Adam and Eve. Is Satan, right? So he came into Eve and said, hey, did God say you can't eat that? Well, that's not true. You can eat that, right? The beginning of time, he's trying to convince people that they don't have to obey the Father's commandments, okay? So if you read in the New Testament, read all the traits of Satan and how he appears in the congregations. And not once is the Father's word ever considered bad or wrong or burdensome. It actually says it's not burdensome, right? The law is
Hold on.
good.
I got another one. So if the law is bad, how come the longest Psalms in the entire Bible, Psalms 119, it's the longest one in the entire Bible. The whole thing is about how good the Torah, the law is. The whole thing. I guess we could just throw that book away. We don't even need Psalms then, right?
No, because the Christians believe in Psalms and Proverbs still,
Yeah.
which is hilarious to me. Because
But not Psalms 119,
Yeah.
the longest Psalms there is.
it's just like how the Jews believe in the prophets, but they throw out Isaiah 46 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Psalm 23 literally talks about exactly the situation, or 22.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
So-
they prophesy exactly what the Messiah will be going through.
Keeping the law of Moses is not Judaism. And if you think it's Judaism, you're wrong. It's not the same thing. Judaism is when you have traditions and extra biblical stuff, a Talmud, where you have all these extra rules. If you're going to keep the law, you've got to do all these different things, and it's got to be perfect. Like wearing tassels, right? Tzitzit. If you're going to wear tassels, according to them, you've got to have a special shirt to wear these. You got to have some special shirt. You don't. You don't have to, because there's no Torah for that. That's extra biblical.
You are no longer under the law. Okay, I want to ask you which law.
Which law?
What law is he talking about? Because Messiah taught that we should be keeping the Father's commandments in Matthew 5:17 through 21.
They all kept the feast days.
But if you can look and see that there's multiple laws, there's a law of marriage. There's the law of
Sin and death.
Sin and death, which is what he nailed to the cross. He took our debt and the legal requirements of it, nailing it to the cross.
If you
He
sinned,
nailed our death warrant. I don't know if that's the right word.
yeah.
To the cross.
If you sinned before Messiah, the penalty was death. If you did a sin, they would take you outside the gates and they would stone you to death, because sinning against the Father's instructions, going against his instructions, breaking the law, breaking the Torah, breaking the Father's instructions was such a hideous thing amongst the Father's people, which is what we are. We're the Father's people. If we believe in the Messiah, we are grafted into that family. Not Judaism, not the same thing. There was 12 tribes. They weren't all Jews.
Let me see. Hold on. Hey, you gotta keep talking. Oh, you're going into the comments.
I'm going to the comments, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, I lost the video. There was no distinction between them. The new believers turning to Yeshua and giving the Ruach HaKodesh. Yes. Perfect law of liberty, the ways of the Creator. You are not Christian, yet you believe Yeshua is the Messiah. Genuinely asking. It's not that we're not Christian.
Well,
it's that
I mean,
we don't fit in what people consider Christian. Like, we aren't going to a Christian church because it's kind of a business. And there's a lot of, like, you have to fit in this box.
So, hold on.
They
Go
leave
ahead.
they leave a lot of scriptures aside to hold closer to the, like, so every denomination holds to this set of rules from the Bible and then forsakes the rest. So it's not that we're not Christian. We believe in Christ, the Messiah, right? We believe in him, but I wouldn't call myself a Christian in the sense of, like, if I was talking to somebody and then they find out, oh, you're a Christian, that's awesome, we're going to be friends. Yeah, we should be friends. And then I start talking about the Old Testament and they're like, oh, you're a Jewish person, right? Like, we don't fit really we don't belong, like, we don't fit in with Christian doctrine, and we don't fit in with Jewish doctrine.
We follow in his footsteps,
right,
the best we can. And none of us do any of this perfect. We're not trying to earn our salvation. We're trying to be obedient because of our belief in Messiah and our belief in the Father. We're trying to be obedient, and our faith should have fruit. And it should have fruit of obedience to what the scriptures say, and not man-made doctrine on what they think they mean versus just what they say in context.
This one, I don't know if we're gonna get into that. There's a lot, but I'd have to.
Oh, there's a ton of them, and so there was a bunch. So there's 64 people on here. There was more. There was 70 something, maybe at some. Oh, there's 70 right now. So yeah, it's interesting because we've got. Oh, look, across the table with Bob's on here. Shalom, brother. Patty, I'm so grateful you're on here, sister, because you got to schwack people if needed. Not like be friendly if there's a troll in there or if they're inappropriate. Outside of that, these are just believers in Messiah that haven't come to the way yet, and so we don't want to just boot them off there because they don't have our belief system. This is a witnessing platform for us, so that we can share the scriptures, a different light, a different angle that a lot of Christianity has missed. Because for us, sin hasn't changed from the beginning of time till now. And it's plain to see that keeping the commandments, keeping the feast days, keeping the biblical diet, all of these things are still in play today. Because the Father said so, and because Yeshua said so in Matthew 5:17 through 19. He says that until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest stroke, not anything will be done away with from the law until all is accomplished, all is complete. Well, all is not complete, and heaven and earth have not passed away yet, because if all is complete, he wouldn't be coming back. He wouldn't be coming back.
No, tell the woman to read Timothy and hush.
Which, they saying that to you?
Yeah, because a woman should learn quietly,
Hey,
not teach
listen,
a man or exercise authority.
I'm her
over a
covering,
man.
homie, and everything that she's saying right now, she's got my blessings to say. Okay, so if you keep that up,
and over we see
you
that
can get bumped out of here. Don't disrespect my wife, because that's the last time you're going to do it, period.
we also see over and over that it's talking about the man should be the head of the wife, and the woman should be submissive to the husband. And
we're a hub.
I
We are
don't
one.
come to him and tell him how things are going to go. I don't come to him and try to teach him. I come and I say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And guess what? He researches it, and then he makes the final judgment call on that because he's protecting the family because Eve was the one who was led astray, right? So when it comes to, there was women prophets. That woman was a queen or something. There was all kinds of women in the Bible that we're talking about. Like, you can't be a prophet and not speak the word of God. And there was a woman prophet in the Bible. Like, her whole ministry was preaching the word of God, right? And warning the people. So if I'm out here trying to exercise authority over him or over you, that's a whole different story. I don't make the rules. I can bring this to him, but like ultimately you and I, like, I don't know you, and what we're talking about is literally scripture, and it says commit to the public reading of scriptures. So we should all be reading the scriptures.
You talking smack or what?
No, they're
Okay.
agreeing. Women
Okay,
can
okay,
witness all
all
they
right,
want.
all right.
Yeah, they're agreeing.
Okay, just making sure.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Where is he at, bro? Let me get it. Yeah, that's a good word. Where is my brother at? Here you go, homie.
I don't know. This guy says we're ignoring his post. I don't know who that is.
Okay, so what? Just find
Why
his
is
post.
my post being? We don't see. There's a lot, by the way. There's a lot of things going across here.
What's his name?
Guy?
Guy?
Please read Matthew 24:24.
Matthew 24:24. Read 24.
For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead many astray, if possible, even the elect.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And we see hold. That goes right here. We're going to Daniel.
Go to
This
Daniel.
lines up with Daniel here. Dang it, where is Daniel?
Hey, Bob, you got a blue wrench, homie, so feel free. But we're also witnessing here, you know how it goes. Only schwack the trolls or the people that are ridiculous.
Yeah, there was something on here, something about demon something. The
This
other guy
is-
was
this-
like, hey,
hey,
can we get the demon?
This
people
tonight,
out?
guys, this is why we do it, because we
Yeah.
get the opportunity to witness the people. I'm really grateful that we had the phone standing up tonight, because look at what we're getting to do.
And I did see one person was saying that like their church teaches stuff, and it's nice to hear scripture.
There's so many
because
people.
we do get brushed.
Yeah, there's so many people in the chat. You guys have no idea how much fruit and experience and biblical understanding that's in the chat right now. You have zero understanding of that. These guys, they know the word so good. They're wonderful people, and they're not here to beat you to death. But if something you're saying isn't in context, we're going to talk about it. And if I don't see it, I apologize. We're trying to get to as many as we can, but it's flying by. There's
There's
so
verse.
much.
I don't
There's
remember
so
what
much.
we were talking about a minute ago, but this verse is the one I was looking for. It's talking about the like Antichrist guy or whatever at the end times. It says he shall turn back and pay attention to those who forsake the holy covenant. And then this is Daniel 11 verse 32. He shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant, but the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. I feel like that goes hand in hand with the Matthew 24:24 you just said. Like he's going to seduce with flattery those who forsake the covenant, and
Bugs.
he's going to lead people astray, right?
Bugs.
It's even the elect.
Yeah, so we're not at a Sunday church with a feel-good message, cherry picking a verse and then making some big topic out of it. That's not really what we're doing. And so I think when people we believe in the Messiah, we believe in Jesus, and we know that salvation only comes through having faith in him. We also know that we're supposed to follow his footsteps. Well, his footsteps, they're a breadcrumb trail on what he did and what he was talking about and the feasts that he did, how he treated people, how he loved the Father, how he loved his neighbors. He kept the Torah. He came and did the Sabbath. He did the feast days. He did all those things that we do, that we're trying to do the best we can. We're not coming here to say like, if you don't keep this, you're going to hell. That's not what we're trying to say. What we're trying to say is that there's a bunch of stuff that modern day Christianity is missed out on. And it's been passed on. Go ahead. You got one?
There's one. Okay, we're going. Sorry. There's this one thing I keep seeing pop up, and I'm going to just go ahead and
Hold on.
address it.
I can't see the screen. It's too small.
So,
Let me see. Also, if there's moderators, a blue wrench in the chat, and they answer a question, you should respect the fact that they're answering it because they see what you're saying and they're trying to give you the 2 cents, hopefully scripturally.
Sammy,
and,
tell the boys it's time to go lay down.
and it's really easy. You can take Paul's writings and make a whole doctrine, a whole religion out of it. But Paul's the only person in the whole Bible that says that we don't keep the Torah. But what you're reading is you're reading it out of context. And one of the reasons you're reading it out of context is because we don't have the letter that was written to Paul, and he's responding to that with his letter to, who is his letter to? It's to the Corinthians, it's to this, to the Roman, all these different groups, and you don't have the other end of what he's talking about. So you're trying to make sense of it and take it into something. He would never say, don't keep the Torah. He would never say, go out and sin. Yeah, the Torah, you don't have to keep the Torah. That's a different thing.
Because this guy
Go
keeps
ahead.
bringing up the whatever, your flesh and the Torah and like all this. Okay, so listen, here, I'm going to read this. Where is
The
it?
flesh can't submit to God's
For
law.
those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit set their minds on the things of the Spirit. For to set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the Spirit is life and peace. For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God, for it does not submit to God's laws. Indeed,
What?
it cannot.
Oh.
Those who are in the flesh cannot please God. You, however, are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if in fact the Spirit of Christ dwells in you. Anyone who does not have the Spirit of Christ does not belong to him. So what does it look like if we have the Spirit of
Your
Christ in
flesh,
us?
yeah, it means
We're
that
not walking in the flesh. We don't have to,
No.
we're not, we have the Spirit. You're either in the Spirit or in the flesh,
Yep.
right?
And if you're in the Spirit, then you keep the commandments.
Well, maybe don't start there. You start somewhere.
Yeah,
Maybe you stop watching
You can
porn at
submit
first.
to them.
Yeah.
You can submit to the commandments.
Yeah, you read them and it convicts you. It says the Spirit's going to come and convict the world of sin.
Now, this doesn't make any sense that the Father would go through all that trouble of giving the written law to Moses for him to just do away with it. For him to just say, oh, none of it meant anything. And we've had this huge story and witness of how God's people came to solution, came out of slavery, came through all these miracles, came to an understanding of like, okay, don't make golden calves and worship them because I don't want you to worship me that way. I want you to do what I said to do. And like all the different stuff that goes along with that. So Exodus is it's a beautiful story of the Father stewarding his people. He's like showing them the way. And that's all we're trying to do.
I have a
Go ahead.
question. Should we still follow Levitican laws after Yeshua has saved us? Or is there scripture that tells us that we are safe? Why has the Levitical laws been ignored now that Jesus has come? I don't know if you're talking about like the sacrificial laws, the temple laws, or if you're just talking about like unclean foods or like
Yeah.
blood and all of, I don't know.
Well, so
Sounds like more like the ceremonial laws or whatever.
maybe, yeah. So there's no temple, so you can't do that anyhow. You can do some stuff, but most of the stuff when it comes to feast days or temple ceremonies, you're not going to be able to do. For one, we can't do them. You're going to have a priesthood, and that we don't have that right now. And then the other thing is, do we need to do sin offerings? I don't think so, because we've already had that debt paid. Could we do free will offerings? Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that, but there's a bunch of stuff that is going to be revealed, a bunch of it, because none of those are in play. They're all, we don't know right now. But Deuteronomy 29:29 is those things that are revealed to you are yours and your children's forever. So there's going to be things that are revealed. There's things that are mysteries to us that the Father knows that are going to be shown.
We're at my mom's, Bob.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This says, hold on, where is it? The law is good, but not applicable in the new covenant. The law was literally the entire purpose
Hold
of
on.
the new covenant.
So what's the new covenant? Jeremiah 31:31. Who's it between?
And where does it get put? It gets put on your mind and in your heart.
Yep.
And Ezekiel 36:25-27 tells you what exactly the whole purpose of the Spirit is, and it's to teach us to walk according to the Father's commandments.
Yep.
So the new covenant, there is no Gentile covenant. There is no covenant that says like we just do whatever we want. There's no covenant for the Gentiles. It's a covenant for Israel and Judah, and you are grafted in through the blood of Yeshua, and now you're part of the family, and now you act accordingly if you love the Father and if you love Yeshua. Like, period. If you love me, keep my commandments.
That's what he says in context. It's not out of context. It's everything that we're saying is backed up by the scripture. It's not backed up with like made up, hard to see. Well, if you only knew what we knew, then you would know. But it's not secret, man. It's in context. It's in the scriptures. It's plain as day. It's in black and white. And it's not our truth. It's his truth. We're just trying to share it the best we can. Mm-hmm. And we're probably not doing it perfect. We're probably not articulating it the best. It doesn't change the fact of what it is. Go ahead.
I forgot where it is, but in the book of Isaiah somewhere, I think it's Jeremiah maybe, in the 40s, it talks about not decorating fir trees and celebrating false pagan holidays, no Ishtar or Nimrod celebrations here. Exactly. And he also says, when you go into this land, don't learn from them how they worship their gods and don't try to worship me in that way. And so all of these little traditions that we have around all these holidays.
Christmas and Easter ain't in the Bible, homie.
We have the Father's holy days that people are taught we don't have to do. These are his holy days. These aren't for the Jews. It's not for Israel. It's not for the Hebrew. It's not just for whoever. It's literally, it says they're his. These are his days. So not only do we not do those days, but we also say we're going to take all these days that people have been celebrating their gods. We're going to take all their little traditions and how they worship their gods. Then we're going to put God's name on it and say that we're worshiping him. And he literally says, don't learn from them how they worship their gods and don't try to worship me that way. So, are they Protestant? Are we Protestant? I don't know what Protestant means. We're not really we definitely don't belong in a denomination.
No, we're not.
We're somewhere in between Christian and Judaism.
No, we're not. So listen.
We are Torah observant.
No,
Christians.
Listen, we believe in the Messiah and we believe in salvation through faith in him. We also believe that the definition of sin is breaking the commandments, is going against the Father. Sin has not been changed. The definition of what it is has been the same from the beginning of time. Sin has not changed. It's the same forever. And the Father doesn't change. He's the same forever. So what that is, and you can get a New Testament definition out of that. 1 John 3:4. In context. Go read it.
Also, this person, Jesus said, we fulfill the law when we love God and love our neighbor. Okay, real quick. I'm going to give you this verse.
How do you do that?
Here.
Keep the Torah.
First, so first it says, and by this we know that we have come to know him if we keep his commandments. Whoever says I know him but does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever keeps his word, in him truly the love of God is perfected. By this we know that we are in him. Whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way which he walked. Okay? Then we're going to go over here. Please hold. Where is it? Okay. Whoever practices righteousness. Okay, here. Everyone who makes a practice of sinning also practice lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. You know that he appeared in order to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who abides in him keeps on sinning. No one who keeps on sinning has either seen him or known him. So we know that sin is lawlessness. If we know him, we're not going to continue in sin. Little children, let no one deceive you. Whoever practices righteousness is righteous, as he is righteous. Whoever makes a practice of sinning is of the devil, for the devil has been sinning from the beginning. Also, sin has existed from the beginning.
Yeah, breaking the Father's commandments, not doing what he tells you to do, going outside of that thing.
The reason the Son of God appeared was to destroy the works of the devil. No one born of God makes a practice of sinning, for God's seed abides in him, and he cannot keep on sinning because he has been born of God. By this it is evident who are the children of God and who are the children of the devil. Whoever does not practice righteousness is not of God, nor is the one who does not love his brother. Okay, so ultimately, you could say we're not supposed to work on righteousness and our righteousness has to come through him. It does, but him in us helps us walk out righteousness. It's not like I'm just this filthy sinner. I can do whatever I want and his righteousness is gonna, I'm not gonna keep, if you say, I love you, friend, and then you keep going, you keep lying, and you keep robbing them, and you obviously don't love them, right? You're just using them. So, my wrench is glowing. So So if we love him, this is why it said over and over, if you love me, keep my commandments. You will know the evidence of our faith in him, the evidence of his work in us and through us will be by our works aligning with the scriptures. Hold on, there's another one though. I'm gonna find it. By this, so all we have to do is love God and love our neighbors. The whole, it fulfills blah, 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 right? So yeah, but read this one. By this we know that we love the children of God. So how do we love the children of God? Okay, how do we know if we love the children of God? When we love God and obey his commandments. Okay, this is 1 John 5. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome. For everyone who has been born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. The point is that our loving our neighbor is literally keeping the commandments. Like we have to keep the command. That is how we love our neighbor.
So somebody wanted me to read James 2 verse 10, but it's not even in context though. So you're trying to make it fit context, but that whole chapter is about sin and partiality. It's about only like doing some things, but not really doing it all. So you're trying to make it like the point and what they're writing about in context, if you read the whole thing, isn't if you break one of the laws, then it doesn't matter, you're screwed anyhow. That's not really what they're saying. What they're saying is you can't just hold fast to some of the commandments and not the others. We hold fast to all that we can do. And the ones that we can't do, there's a memorial to them. There's a way that you can honor those without going to a temple, without doing these things. And there's going to be a new temple and a new heaven and a new earth. And I mean, there's a lot going on there. I mean, if those things are done away with, what is Revelations 12:17 talking about? They keep the commandments and have the testimony. If we don't keep any of the laws, why is the Messiah himself? If you had Paul, let me ask you a question. Everybody who's arguing with what we believe in our belief system of understanding the scriptures. If Paul were standing here and Jesus or Yeshua were standing here, both of them standing here side by side, and Paul says, we don't keep the law, and Yeshua says, you keep the law until heaven and earth pass away, which one are you going to believe? Because if you pick Paul, he's your Messiah. He's not my Messiah. And I'm not telling you that Paul's a liar. What I'm telling you is that Paul's writings are hard to understand. And the book in an entirety, from the beginning to the end, is unity in the book. There's not a division in the book where there's something old and we don't do that anymore. And then we're only new now. That's not the whole thing. There's so much more to it. Hold on, let me get in the chat. Hey, and just so you know, if you're new out there and you're on the channel, I don't read super duper good, like super slow. My wife is a speed reader. She helps me go through the process. I can't keep up with the chat. So if I'm not getting to you really fast, it's because I read about second grade level because I've got some learning disabilities that I'm okay with. And if you're not, tough toodles. So BT Dubs, this is one of the funnest live streams we've done in a while because I love this. I love this. This is an opportunity to share truth. It's an opportunity for people who believe a certain way to be challenged on what they believe their scriptures say, what they've been taught over a long period of time. They've been taught, hey, well, it says this, or I believe it says this, and so it must mean this. This is to challenge your belief system. Have you subcontracted your faith? If your pastor or a teacher or somebody that you've went to Sunday church with told you, Paul declared all food clean and now we can eat it. If they told you that, they were wrong. It's not in the scriptures. Did you check it for yourself? Did you study the scriptures? Did you look it up in its written languages by definition? Did you check? Did you study? Did you really, really look and see what it said? Did you ask only people who share the same faith as you, or did you look outside of that to double check because you could be wrong? I'm just saying, man, there's so much to it. And this is if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. If you don't, you're going to fight tooth and nail saying that we're wrong and that you don't have to do none of that before. But if you're if your Messiah, if your Jesus is the lawless one, it's not the same one we're talking about. We're talking about the one out of the Bible. I'm just saying. By the way, if you get baptized and you get saved and he dies for your sins, if you don't know the biblical definition of sin, how do you know you're still not sinning? Well, the Holy Spirit, is it that? I mean, because you're throwing that out there, but you don't have a biblical. It's got to be back to biblical. The Holy Spirit's not going to go against the Scriptures. It's not. But you have to study, because if you don't ever know, if you don't ever look, if you don't ever challenge it, how are you going to know? You're not, because you're gonna have blinders on. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that. And so it's painful to learn something new. It's uncomfortable. And I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just telling you that the Messiah is not a lawless Messiah. He kept the law. He didn't sin, because that's what sin is. Sin is breaking the commandments. All of them. Not just picking and choosing which ones. Do you keep the Sabbath? Do you keep it holy? What day do you keep it on? The 7th or the 1st? There's a whole bunch to it that modern day Christianity doesn't do. And we see it a lot, that a lot of people pick and choose what they want to do. We're not saying pick and choose. We're just saying do all of it the best you can. Nobody's going to do it perfect. The only one that ever did it perfect was the Messiah, was Yeshua. That's it. But we should still try. We should try. If we believe in him, we believe he died for our sins, our faith should have some fruit and some obedience to the Father. We should submit to his authority, his right rulings. I mean, look at Psalms 119, the whole thing. It's the longest Psalms there is. Look at Psalms 119. All it says is how good his doctrine is, how good his law is, and that it's a lamp to your feet. It shows you the path, the way. And what we're talking about, the gate is narrow and few find it. It's narrow. It's really hard to do what I was taught to not do. I was taught in Christianity, I don't do any of that. That's Old Testament stuff. We don't do that no more. That's not the truth. The truth is the Scriptures prove themselves. The Scriptures define the Scriptures. The Holy Spirit, if you want to know truth, not yours, not your pastors, not your churches, not your buddies, not your version of it. If you don't care about what your version is and you want to know truth, you pray for it. You pray for truth. You pray to the Most High, the creator of the heavens and the earth. You say, I want to know your truth and not my own. Not these guys, not mine. He's going to show it to you. And maybe someday we might cross paths and you might shake my hand and say, you know what? You weren't lying, because I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to share what it means in context, and we're not talking about salvation here. What we're talking about is obedience according to salvation. Do I think that the Messiah is going to go to people who have cast out demons and healed people and done all kinds of mighty, wonderful things, and they're going to come to him and he's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of lawlessness? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. What law? What law is he talking about? He's talking about what we're talking about right now. Same thing. Nothing different, nothing new under the sun. Yeshua is the Word made flesh. He's the Word. He's not going to go against himself. He's not going to come and start a whole new, because if that was the case, it's not a biblical thing. The Creator knew what he was doing, but he also knew people were going to take some stuff and twist it. And who knows? Who knows? Messiah does. I know that no matter what any Christian denomination, anybody, whether they're got a PhD in doctrinal understanding of the Scriptures or not one person ever, not a pastor, rabbi, nobody is ever shaken my faith with Scripture. And even all the ones that you guys gave me that were arguments, because they're the same arguments that I had to dig in and study. They can't be true if all this other stuff is in plain writing, like Matthew 5:17 through 20. Clear enough for me. That one thing, you can't argue it means something other than what it says. You can't, not in context. And then it goes on to say after that. I'm gonna read it to you because I got this one memorized. So I'm gonna read that one to you because I think it's valid. And I think it's in context. And I think it's fitting for this conversation. And I honestly, it's some of my favorite stuff. So we'll go here to Matthew 5. We'll go to 17. And I'll start reading. It says, "Do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke shall pass from the law until all is accomplished." All is accomplished. Wait, heaven and earth ain't passed away and he's still coming back. So it ain't accomplished. All is not accomplished. "Whoever then annuls the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven." If you teach people to not keep the law, you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Did you know that? That's what Yeshua is saying in context. Let's keep going. "But whoever keeps and teaches them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." Yikes. So that's verse 19, which is pretty powerful. He's saying if you don't do them, if you teach people not to keep the commandments, yeah. Oh, it's just the greatest commandments. No, that's not. That's not just 2 commandments. That's made up. That's you're autofilling. That's not in context because there's so much to it.
How's it going?
It's going awesome, man. There's a whole bunch. I'm not even keeping up with the chat at this point. I was just reading some stuff out of the scriptures because why not? I got it memorized, the stuff that I read, so it was pretty smooth. Except for I lost my place for a second.
That's all that?
What is that?
But I wish I have to go all the way to the bottom because I don't know what has been talked about. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's on fire
Galatians.
right now.
Are we still responding to this one?
Which one is it?
Galatians 5.
I mean, because I'm not casting my pearls before, you know what I'm saying? Also, context is key. If the context that you're using doesn't fit all the verses that we're throwing out there, there's a reason for it.
Here, hold on.
Because it's not a true doctrine.
What?
I've had so much fun on this. This is awesome. I was gonna bump off of here like an hour ago, and then all of a sudden people started jumping in there and it got turned up. This has been great.
Okay, so this goes, I don't know. This one is talking about it's for freedom. Christ has set us free, so don't again submit to the yoke of slavery. But like if you go through the New Testament, you see over and over again where it's talking about like being a slave to sin, right? Or a slave to righteousness. This goes back to that. And where is it? How can you who died to sin still live in it? So we're no longer slaves to sin. Okay. So don't submit to slavery. It's not talking about the slavery of the law. It's talking about this freaking here, let's go back, make sure I'm reading that in context. Because I'm not above double checking myself, y'all, okay? If you accept circumcision, Christ will be of no advantage to you. Every man who okay, so this isn't about, go read, where's the verse?
Oh,
Where's
Frank.
the verse? Because there's a verse where it says that Paul took Timothy to get circumcised.
Wait a second.
So why would he take Timothy to get circumcised if he's preaching, if you accept circumcision, Christ is of no value to you? Because he's not talking about circumcision in general. He's talking about circumcision for salvation. And when you read the New Testament, you see over and over and over that people were trying to require circumcision in order to be saved. And that's not the case. That doesn't mean don't ever get circumcised. It means your circumcision or uncircumcision has zero effect on the Spirit coming to live in you through Yeshua.
Okay, quick. What is that? What is that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
hold
Frank,
on.
bro, I don't know what kind of nonsense you're on, homie, but I got to put you in timeout for a minute. So you're going to be in timeout.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah, you're going to be timeout for, we'll give you 10 minutes to cool down.
Let me see. Jesus' whole point about what comes out defiling a person is about the heart. Christ is speaking of the problem with man. He's not talking about defilement anyways. He's talking about being made common, which is regarding temple regulations for
Shabbat
dishes.
shalom, Bob.
He's not saying you're going to be defiled. He's saying you're not going to be made common by eating with unwashed hands. Just go look it up. There's a word that means defiled. There is a word that means contaminated or polluted. And then there's this word which means to make common. So he's not talking about defilement anyways, but he is talking about matters of the heart, because no matter how much you wash your hands, you're not going to be made holy on the inside.
What's up,
right?
Pooter and Torah? What's up, bro? I didn't even know you were on here. That's awesome. I haven't been looking at the chat at all. I'm having so much fun right now. This has been great.
Let me see.
Passover. Yeah, that's why the Jews got circumcised. Ooh, boy, there's a lot going on in here, man.
Moses gave us 10 commandments, but Jesus only gave us 6 commandments. Jesus literally taught like everything, almost
He
everything that
refined
he said.
the Torah.
Yeah.
Almost everything that he said
He
in
explained
the New
it.
Testament was out of the Old Testament. Bet you didn't know that.
Yeah, he's even like go through the Beatitudes or whatever, and it's like, blessed are these people, blessed are these people. He's literally quoting Old Testament verses from like Isaiah and Psalms. Like everything that Yeshua teaches is almost everything is out of the Old Testament, unless he is explaining deeper the Old Testament. He's not doing away with any of the Old Testament. He's teaching it and explaining how to do it the right way, because the Jews were doing all of the works, but they were missing the most important part, which was love, which is why he said, this is the most important one, is the love, because they were missing it. They were doing all these works, but they had no love for the Father, or they had no love for their neighbor. They were judging, they were hypocritical, they were mean, they were whatever, self-righteous. Jude 3. Is Jude New Testament? It sounds like it would be an Old Testament writing, but I'm pretty sure it's a new one.
Dude, this has been the
Jude.
best. This has been the best live stream we've done in a while. This one is really awesome.
Jude.
So if you're gonna cherry pick
Go take
verses, you gotta first answer with the ones that we're talking about, because like if you honestly have a question about it,
Sorry.
cherry picked, it's gonna sound whatever, but you gotta study the whole thing. And you know, like the truth is we couldn't sit here in 3 hours and probably break down how we come to the conclusion on most of these.
And we're not just saying, oh no, that's not true. We don't do that. We're giving you verses. We're actually explaining through scripture what that is about. We're not like, if I take this to a person and say, oh look, the Bible says, where Yeshua says we're supposed to be acting this way, and they will absolutely just say, nope, we don't have to do that. The law has been done away with, or whatever. Like they just quote, they don't explain the verse I'm giving to them, because they can't rectify it. Hold on, dude.
No.
I don't want Roxy in here.
You want her here?
Oh, I wanted them to take her in.
She won't go anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Roxy here.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Jude, I'm still looking for Jude over here. I don't even know where Jude is. It's like one page or something, isn't it? No, that's Jonah.
And you know, another thing too is like, I know it sounds crazy and it's hard to believe. Like, there's no way I've been a Christian for 20, 30, 40, 10 years, whatever it is, that I miss that and that's true. That can't be true. It can be true. It can be true because the scriptures, you have so many gray areas in modern day Christianity that you can't answer with scripture, that you got scriptures that you can't plug into your doctrine. You have to make up they mean something else. If they meant exactly how they read, it would break all of those paradigms that you're stuck in, those belief systems.
So this I'm going to give for the people who are on now. Maybe they haven't heard this yet. This is Second Peter. Second Peter, right? Oh yeah, so it's talking about Paul's writings, okay? As Paul has wrote to you according to the wisdom given to him. This is 2 Peter 3:15. And then it says, as he does in all his letters when he speaks in them of these matters, there are some things in them that are hard to understand, which the ignorant and unstable twist to their own destruction as they do the other scriptures. You therefore, beloved, knowing this beforehand, take care that you are not carried away with the error of lawless people and lose your own stability. So you're making an entire doctrine literally based on the one person who goes back and forth. Do the law, don't do the law, law is good, law is bad, don't circumcise people. He went and took people to get circumcised, abstain from marriage if you can. These people are saying to abstain from marriage, right? Like he bounces so much, he contradicts himself unless you understand what he's saying. So you're taking that guy, the most confusing guy in the whole Bible, the most contradictory seeming Bible guy, the one that Peter literally warns us that will be led to lawlessness if you twist his scriptures, and you're making an entire doctrine that puts aside the whole rest, the words of the Father, the words of the Messiah, and the words of every other disciple that has written for us. And it just makes no sense why we could allow.
Hey, hold on.
It's very simple.
So what's this, Christine? What's this one? Christine Marshall? Mm-hmm. So Christine Marshall, you're an ordained minister. What are you trying to say about Matthew 5:17 through 20? If what you're saying is true, how does that fit with what your belief system is? Because it doesn't match up with what you're saying. You're saying he only gave us 6 commandments, but he's telling us in Matthew 5:17 that until heaven and earth passes away, and that if you keep the commandments and teach others to do so, you'll be called great in the kingdom. If you teach people to break the least of these commandments, not just the 6, the law he's talking about in context, it doesn't match with what you're ordained. So, and again, I appreciate you, but you probably went to seminary school, and seminary school still has a doctrine of the law was done away with. All of them. Doesn't matter whatever denomination you are. They all come to that conclusion because it's a modern day Christianity talk. There's 41,000 different denominations out there. There's no unity in that. And that's not a remnant that they're talking about in Revelations. That's a mass. And the gate is narrow and few found it. Few. You think your denomination found it? I don't think mine found it. I think I just read the book and I'm like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. I didn't have to make up solutions to stuff in there that I didn't have an answer for.
Oh wait, Scav is back?
Oh no.
Scav is back.
How?
It's a real person.
Yeah. You didn't troll out? Okay.
Oh goodness. Here, Philippians 3:7-11.
If you believe in Messiah, you're grafted in. You're grafted into what? Israel. You're grafted into that family.
You're grafted into the Father's chosen people.
Oh, because of Jeremiah 31:31. Who's the renewed covenant with? Not Gentile believers.
There is not.
It doesn't say Christians. What it says is Judah and Israel. That's who the renewed covenant is with. So you're grafted into Israel through faith. You're grafted into that family. You're grafted into that tree, that olive branch. And
We
the,
once
and the
were
people
separated, and
yeah.
now we are not.
Now we're not. That's right. And so if you're grafted in, you have the same set of rules. They're not something new. None of this is new. Messiah kept all the commandments. He kept all the feast days. He kept the Sabbaths. He went to the temple. He read the Torah and the prophets. Same thing that we're supposed to be doing today. Nothing new. You know what we're not supposed to be doing today? Stoning people to death because they sinned.
And that to me, okay, so that is the most important part, is that people, we see over and over, it talks about the law of sin and death. You sin, you die. That is always how it was. You are going to die because of your sin, okay? So
Eternal separation.
we would never earn eternity with the Father based on our flesh, because our flesh was incapable of not sinning. So Yeshua came, he beat death for us. So even though, this is where the grace comes in, even though we're not perfect, even though we'll never be able to uphold the scriptures to the perfect
The Torah,
T,
the law, we can't do it perfect.
we still have salvation. We still have grace as we learn, as we mess up. Because if I say, oh, I think we should start keeping Sabbath, and then I go and say, like, I'm going to go out to eat because I'm not supposed to cook, I don't, like, the Father's not going to sit there. If I don't know that part yet, I haven't read the verse that says don't cause anybody to work. He's teaching me. I am obedient. I'm doing my best to listen to him. I'm not cooking. I go out to eat.
Oops.
And then later I read the verse where it says don't cause anybody else to have to work. Then I adjust to that. He gives us grace because the Spirit is going to be sanctifying us, right?
Moses,
We
hold on
don't
a second.
have it all figured out, but this is the part, I think it's, I don't know, it's in Acts.
Hold on.
When they talk about the rules for the Gentile believers, and it says abstain from blood, sexual immorality, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom verse is saying, because they're going to hear all of this in Sabbath every week, because the law is read every week in all the synagogues. So have them start here. This is the starting point. The bare minimum to be able to fellowship with Gentiles is for them to obey these 4 rules, which we know those 4 rules are not the only rules, because go read the rest of the New Testament. You see lots of things that are considered sin that you will not be able to be in the kingdom of heaven if you're doing, right? So these are the starting line for Gentiles to fellowship, because the law is going to be taught every week on Sabbath. Everywhere you look, it says commit to the public reading of scriptures, okay? We're supposed to be teaching each other in truth. God, Yeshua says God's word is truth.
Hold on. They're saying that the law and the commandments are 2 different things. Are they?
When I read the law, I think of the law of sin and death.
Sure. Okay.
I think the law of sin and death, you have to obey this law perfectly or you die. And then we have the Father's commandments, but part of the command, like the law is that you have to fulfill these commandments in order to...
Let's go over it really quick. So in the 10 commandments, the first 4 are how you love the Father. And the last 6 are how you love your neighbor. And loving the Father and loving your neighbor, the whole Torah could be hung on that. But if you think that the law is done away with, it's not done away with, because Yeshua clearly says it's not. And it also says if you teach people to break it, that's it. There's nothing, you can't argue with the Messiah saying it himself. It's only other people in there that you're trying to take and misscrew. That's the thing, is if Paul's writings are speaking to a certain group of people and we don't have the other letter that he received that he's responding to, how do you know you've got it right? You don't, you're guessing. You don't know you got it right. But we know Paul's not a liar, right? We know he's not a liar. He also said, faith without works is dead. He also said, should we sin the more that grace may abound? Of course not. He also says he wouldn't have known sin except for through the law. The law is showing you what sin is.
Encouraging community. Honest question, at what point will this be considered us answering fools according to their folly? And honestly, I feel like there's at least 2 or 3 people that...
There's a few people
it's
that's...
not really for fruit. It's not... It's for...
We're rebuttaling because there's people in here that are probably
Yeah.
wondering the truth.
Yeah.
There's people in the chat that are probably not saying anything, that may have questions, that may honestly be seeking truth and may get one little piece of this seed, and the Father will cause it to grow later. Because it's not up to me to plant the seed and to water and to harvest. That's not my job. My job right now is to be a bridge between one belief system that is not a complete it's a false doctrine. A lawless Messiah is not a biblical one.
Yeah.
He kept the law, he kept the commandments, he did all the feast days, he ate clean, he did all the things. And that's the point of all of this, is if you believe in a Jesus that says we don't have to do none of that stuff anymore, that's not the Jesus out of the Bible. That's a made up Jesus.
Which is why it's so hard for Jewish people to come to a belief in Yeshua,
Yeah.
because of the like Christian Jesus that literally goes against everything that God ever said about who the Messiah would be and what he would do and the whole purpose of it.
A lawless Messiah, you can't ever go to a Jewish person and preach the gospel to them with a lawless Messiah. That doesn't work. They're going to say he breaks all the commandments. We don't have to do the commandments anymore. No way. That's not the God. That's not the Father. That's not the Creator that we serve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. It's not. It's not the same thing.
Can I ask a question? I mean, yeah, I would say just do it because
Ask a question and we'll try to get it.
We're not going to be able to.
Who is it?
Hold on. What I hear tonight is the Father speaking through you both. Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
I'm trying
it's hard
I'm trying to stay out of my flesh.
yeah,
Honestly.
it is a battle. But the whole point is that, like, in love and truth, but there's going to be like antagonists, I guess. And there's going to be people here who really are hungry for the truth, people who have already been convicted of it and have had people teach them that they don't do that. And that's who we're here for. These are people who have honest questions. We want to be able to answer them and explain, because we were there. We came from straight heathen lifestyle to following the Christian Bible to
not Christian Bible, the Christian doctrine.
right, the Christian doctrine, with conviction to follow the commandments, but people taught us that it was literally a sin to try. We were spitting on the cross if we tried to do what Dad said. And if you just think about it for a second, it just sounds absurd. Like, Dad says don't do this. Oh, well, nope, you say you're going to try to do what Dad says do? Then that means you're trying to earn your salvation. No, my salvation has already been, not even earned. My salvation has already been given. And now out of gratitude for that, now I want to do my best to do what Dad says. I want to follow his rules, because my way, the world's way, has led me to psych wards and strip clubs and freaking drug houses and lots of issues, right? That's where the world leads me. That's where my flesh leads me. The Father's will is literally to teach us how to stay out of the world and how to serve him the way that he created for his people. And if we are his people, we should respect the way that he outlined for us.
Yep. Sin is the same 2,000 years ago as it is today. It's going against the Father's instruction. If you don't know what the instruction is, read the first 5 books of the Bible. That's it. And you'll get it. Oh, that's just for the Jews. Is it just for the Jews? Because there's 12 tribes of Israel.
How do you do that? By the law or by the Spirit?
Both.
By the Spirit, because the Spirit leads you to the commandments.
That's
literally in Ezekiel.
Hold on, read the one you read earlier.
I don't want to bore everybody reading it over and
You
over.
read it again, because the
I think it's
flesh,
the same person, though.
the
and
flesh
they didn't
cannot
hear it.
submit to the
Yeah,
Father's
no.
law.
That person has already been. I think that's one of the ones where it's just this.
Okay, well, which person is it?
Where to go, Devontae? I think we're gonna.
I
Probably,
don't know if that's the same person.
this
We're probably
one
gonna,
right here.
yeah, I don't know if that's the same person that was saying it earlier. I think it's the same doctrine coming out of like 100 different people, which is not the same thing.
God did not create the light. He can create something. The light. He can create something. He was already God. Is the light. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah,
it sounds very or no, not agnostic. Gnostic. Oh, okay.
What's
There's
up,
God
O?
said, let there be light, and then there was light. Right. It's that. I think that one we got Christine, Devontae.
That's an ordained pastor though,
No,
ordained minister. Or
You know who
whatever.
else were super learned men? The Pharisees.
And the
You know who were
Sadducees,
super unlearned men but wanted to follow Messiah? fishermen and tax collectors. Okay, so like your degree or whatever it is, it's all a man-made. It's a man-made course. Listen, you
Yeah.
go to school to learn how to be a preacher. You're learning a course that has been made by men based off of a religion that is probably the most corrupt. I'm talking about Catholicism, no offense, but if you want to get into that, I guess that's a whole nother topic. But my point is, we can see everything that the Father said don't do. Catholicism takes it, they do it, they teach it, right? So we're basing all of your information on a course made by men with all the history information getting from Catholicism, okay? So like, I don't care about the doctrine that you have been taught by people. I care about the word, and how people teach you to read the word is totally different than how the word teaches you to read the word.
Or how the Spirit does. But hey, so we need to check on
It's so,
the
oh yeah, I
lows.
just sent him to bed. It's very sweaty in here.
It's very sweaty in here.
You guys think ghosts are real? The Bible says no spirit stays on earth and they neither go to heaven or hell, but they have been numerous videos of paranormal activity. I believe that spirits are here. I don't know. I mean, not like, I think they're like angels. Like you saw people, not angels, fallen angels maybe, like demonic spirits and angels. So I don't know that I believe in ghosts, but I do believe in spirits. Is in the sense of fallen angels versus angels, right? I do believe in that.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah. Jesus was the sacrifice. We are the temple. I agree. So, which is why we do not do, there is no temple anyways, or Levitical priesthood, but like we are not doing sacrifices or temple regulations because there is no, we are the temple. And
Well,
there's
yeah,
no way
there's
like,
no
if it says like don't go to the
priesthood or
temple
none of that.
because if you had marital time, then like, you know, that would kick a lot of people out of the presence of God, right? So like we are the temple. That doesn't mean that like, yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I believe fallen angels are demons. Exactly. I guess I'm trying to avoid the word demons. I feel like the word demons is kind of like a,
They don't
it has
have
a
any.
lot of
They don't
feeling
have
attached
any.
to it.
If you believe in Messiah, they don't have any authority over you. But if you don't know the scriptures, if you don't know the word of the Most High, then your shield and your helmet and
Yeah.
all that is gonna be. It's gonna get some arrows in it, and you know it's
Yeah.
tough.
It says not being swayed away by every wind of doctrine, and that to me, unless you know the Father's truth in the Old Testament, what He says, the way that He created everything to function, you will not be able to stand on any teaching confidently. You may feel confident, but unless you know the Father's truth of His words, you can make the New Testament say whatever you want, which is what every single you know what? Go be Pentecostal. They're all going to go pray in tongues. But you know what verse they don't regard? Is the one that says you can't have more than 2 people doing it and you have to have an interpreter, right? You have to go to the freaking Baptist church. They're like, once saved, always saved. That's cool. It says those who endure till the end will be saved. Okay? You're going to go to any denomination that says, I believe these parts of the Bible and I forsake these parts of the Bible. And Christianity is no different because we take the New Testament and forsake the Old Testament. But it's all one book. It's the way that we know truth. Yeshua says, your word is truth. We have to have the belt of truth, the armor of God, the belt of truth. And it says, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Yeshua fought Satan when he was tempting him with the word of God because Satan was twisting the scriptures. He was giving him twisted doctrine. But Yeshua knew the truth. He knew the Father's words. He knew the Father's commandments, and he was able to fight back with it.
Jen Davis, that's a good question.
So are y'all saying that from the Old Testament where it says a woman is unclean during the time and can't go to church? Real questions. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But I'm saying, like, I don't think that means you can't go to church. Because if my body is a temple, there is no way I'm going to live my entire life without ever biblically making my temple unclean. Because I will have sex. I won't have a period, but you will have a period. You will, you know what I mean? You're going to be next to some dead animals at some point.
Also,
there's lots of things that'll make you unclean.
Different temple. Different thing. So church and the temple that they're talking about there is 2 different things. The temple there is instructed and built according to the instructions of the Most High, the creator of everybody. And it had the holiest, the most holy spot in it. And yes, you're not going to blink because blood, life is in the blood, right? So, and that's how sin is paid for, by blood. So life is in the blood. That's why you don't drink blood. That's like you don't do those things. It's a super important thing. And you wouldn't want to come and desecrate something that is super holy, that's set apart, that's special. So you wouldn't want to take that there. Also, back in the day, they didn't have the feminine products that we have today. They didn't have none of that stuff. There was probably marks from women that came in and, were sitting there in public areas,
It said the life is in the blood.
Yeah, and so they didn't want nothing to do with blood at all. And so, yeah, that's a thing, but it's not. Church and the temple, total different thing. That's not the same thing. Plus, modern day church today it's not what it was then. Now, if we were in the Holy Land and there was a temple, yeah, I would say you're not going.
Oh my goodness.
But-
No, ear piercings are not a self-mutilation. It literally says if you're a servant and you chose to stay with your master, that they would pierce your freaking ear.
With an awe.
And Rebecca, when she got proposed to, it gave her a nose ring.
A nose ring, a
Piercings
piercing.
are not defiling your body or mutilating your body.
Yeah, that's not what it says. Yeah, you're putting extra on top of that. And so man-made doctrine is always going to put extra meaning and understanding on top of what it actually says.
Putting aside the commandments of God to hold to traditions of men.
Traditions. Those are traditions. It's a difference. But
And everything that Yeshua have taught was about balance. It was about don't think that you can do this good enough, because if you think you can do this good enough, you're going to get humbled real quick.
Yep.
Also, don't forget about love, because if you wear your tassels and you pray wrong prayers and you do all this, oh, I'm tithing or whatever, but then you go and you talk crap about people, your heart is still ugly, regardless of what you're making your body do to be obedient, right? It's from the inside, like inside out. Our heart is transformed. Everything that we do should be in love and because of love and through love. It shouldn't be, I'm going to do these works while I secretly hate my brother, or while I think that I'm going to be somehow justified in my own self. I'm going to be self-righteous, right? It's about being obedient because you love the Father so much that you want to do what he says, and that you trust him, that he knows what he said, and he said it for a reason, right? His ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So he knows more than we do. If he said don't eat pig, you probably shouldn't. You don't have to understand why. You just probably shouldn't. He said he set it apart as unclean. He said don't eat it and make yourself abominable.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. Dad said don't, dude. And if there's if you take away the laws about the temple, about the sacrifices, about the Levitical priests or whatever, if you take those out, what you're left with is a whole bunch of laws about how to love your neighbor, how to love the Father, and how to love yourself. So when he says all the law and the prophets hang on those two, love God and love your neighbor as yourself, he's saying every single commandment it can be filed under one of those categories: loving God, loving your neighbor, or loving yourself.
All right, guys, it has been an awesome live stream. I mean, awesome. So every Friday night at 7:30 Central Time, we do this. I invite you to come back and, dig into some scriptures. Check out the stuff we're talking about. Go back through the video and you'll hear us give scriptures audibly. I don't know if the chat will be in this one or not, because I don't know if I saved it that way. Definitely go and watch this thing from the beginning. You'll have a blast. I appreciate you guys, but it is time for me to get my Shabbat on. So Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Thanks until next time.
Bye.